Hello, lovely people. Welcome back to the Distinct and Jovial podcast. My name is Dom, and I am joined, as always, by my wonderful co-founder, Jerry. How are you doing this Sunday morning?
I'm very good, thank you, Dom. Very good indeed. It's sunny.
Don't sound convinced.
No, well, I think if I say it convincingly enough, I'll convince myself. It's nice, actually. It's good. I've been looking forward to this, and the sun is shining. I feel like spring is here.
It was lovely yesterday. Interesting. I'm going to introduce our guest, but I do want to go on to that, what you mentioned about trying to convince yourself. Is it almost like fake it till you make it? You have to fake your own happiness.
Yeah.
Before that, I'll introduce the guest that we've got. She has actually been on this podcast twice before, but twice in a group. And she is also the only guest that we've had on after that has actually appeared in person. So we'd like to welcome back to the podcast, Carey.
Woo! Hey.
Well, you need to get like a backing round of applause track, because I think
definitely.
me and Jerry clapping doesn't quite cut it, does it?
No.
It's got that kind of like Greg James Radio 1 vibes when he claps. It's quite it's supposed to be kind of enthusiastic, but it just comes across a bit pathetic.
There's two sets of hands clapping. Welcome back, Carey.
Hi.
Are you glad to be back, or are you reserving judgment to the end of the podcast?
I'm going to reserve judgment at the moment. Definitely.
Always the best way.
Yeah.
I'm going to touch up on what you just said before. Oh, should I do? Actually, I should do the flipping like.
Yeah, do
all,
the disclaimers.
all views on this podcast represent ourselves and not the companies that we work for. So we keep our jobs at the end.
Or anyone else. Companies,
or
people,
yep.
organisations, institutions.
Our opinions are our own.
They are.
Mm-hmm.
No, I wanted to catch up on the point you made around, and this is why I love this podcast, is going into just random topics. You said almost like fake it till you make it. Like you've got to almost be self-cheery to kind of bring it up. Do you actually believe that, or is that just something you decided to say this morning?
No, I do think it makes a difference. I do think it makes a difference. You can...
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not saying it'll dramatically change your mood or anything, but certainly if you smile and you sort of have that inner dialogue where you're like, actually, no, things are good, things are really great, it does help to change your perspective on things a bit. It doesn't change anything, but it can change your perspective to a degree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I'd go with that. Definitely.
I'm the type of person though that like, and maybe this is just my cynical brain, it'd be like, oh, my leg's been shot off. Oh, it could be worse though, right? I'm lying here comfortable, but my leg's been blown off.
Exactly, yeah.
It's a minor flesh.
There's always those phrases, isn't it? You know, when somebody asks you how you are and you go, it could be better. The family dog died last week or something like that. That's the type of like response that you'd get from somebody traditionally British. But yes, like it's interesting because that's been told to me a lot recently by people, some of whom I'm a bit like, yeah, but you're the cause of my so
yeah, how does that work?
So suck on those apples. But and I get that it probably would do, but there's always that part of me that's a bit like there's got to like maintain that realism in some sense, and also I can't be like, it's tough to continuously think happy thoughts when you think, for God's sake, why is that person a moron, or why have they done that, or what has happened?
No, it's a balance. You can't. I think that's actually trying to convince yourself that everything's okay rather than accepting that it's not is worse. I think that will backfire.
Yes.
That's not a good thing to do.
Okay, so it's the balance between not like, you don't want to lie to yourself that everything is okay, but you should at least be looking for the more positive things in the current situation that you're currently in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Fair enough?
Yeah, trying to find some kind of joy where you can.
I bet neither of you thought that was how the podcast was going to start, considering how we chatted just before.
It's not on the list, Dom. No, it's not on the list.
It's not on the document, and you're not following
exactly,
the document.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about it. It's not on the document.
This isn't structured enough for my liking. Need more structure.
I think that's just... What struck? No, we don't want structure. This is distinct and jovial, Jerry.
No,
right?
no,
we should be going off tangent.
No, we need to follow a checklist.
Checklist.
You need to
put
be
in
able
this
to
foundation.
tick everything off as we go along.
Yeah, like
Oh.
a to-do list.
I regularly just skip things on these documents during the
Listen, the
podcast.
amount we have skipped. I reckon we've skipped as much
Make
as
a
we've...
podcast
Yeah, I think we've
sounds like
skipped
a good
as much
idea. We
as
should
we've
do
gone
that,
off from
Carey.
one. Yeah,
at some point in
Yeah.
time.
that's a very good
Yeah,
idea.
why don't you do that, guys?
What, create a podcast? Sounds like a
Yeah,
good idea, doesn't it?
yeah.
It's like boiling up all your vegetable peelings and stuff and making a vegetable stock.
Okay.
My favourite bits, though, are where I've hit record and then we've chatted for like 20 minutes. But those bits I can't put out to the public quite often.
No. No.
Now that
There's
would
definitely
be an
some
interesting-
outtakes in those.
There are outtakes. We still need to do an outtakes episode that will probably last about 3 hours. It'll be hilarious.
Yeah, I reckon I've probably got enough these days to do that. The early recordings, the recordings are just stored locally, but the rest are all on the platform that we use here. I also do have outtakes, obviously, from the in-person podcast that we did.
I'm sure, yeah.
Because I set one camera up and then did the other one and was trying to get the mic set in.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be interesting.
We were well behaved.
We were, to be fair.
Were we? Well,
Yeah, we were. No, we were. Come on, we were. That could have been carnage.
compared to how we're behaved when it's not recording, yeah, I guess so.
I mean, Slarty had clothes on for a start.
Well, that's
So that's
true,
always
yeah.
a positive
That's always a bonus.
Do I want to know?
and a relief.
No.
He just doesn't like wearing clothing. He's basically a naturist. He goes to work naked. We've had so many
That's why
written
we said
warnings.
he'd get arrested for indecent exposure.
Yeah,
Oh, right, okay.
he's done a lot of time.
I suppose. Oh dear. Well, today is the 23rd of March, 2025. It is episode number 46. 46. 2 more episodes and we would have done 4 full years of podcasts.
That's amazing.
Oh my god.
And probably with the extra bonus content, we've probably done enough podcasts
To keep us going for
last
9
Do the next year. Do the next year.
We could just sit back and that's it.
Chill.
Just let AI do
Yeah.
its thing. Create me the next
Oh,
4 years of
don't even
podcast.
joke. Somebody sent me a video of an AI creating a podcast the other day, and I was like, I'm tempted.
That's quite disturbing.
Well, AI will take over the world. We'll start off with it being the 23rd of March. It is Nevaid's birthday.
It
No, I'm
is.
not going to sing happy birthday to Nevaid.
Neither am I.
It's
Happy
not.
birthday, Naveen.
And,
Happy
So happy
birthday,
birthday.
Nav.
and we have to sort of do it like this because that's my
Oh yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Happy birthday, love.
Well, actually, both me and Jerry, for the audio listeners there, have moved as close as possible and kind of this. But actually, what I should do is I should move my mic as far away so I can just about.
Oh, that's much better.
That's
Yeah,
about
just-
where Nevaid was.
That's much
Just
better.
disconnect your mic. It'll be fine.
Happy birthday, Naveen.
Sorry, Nevaid. It's too easy.
It
You
is.
had a lot. You had a lot of poignant points, but none of us could hear it.
It's very true.
Oh dear. So I've started with let's look at the reflections on previous podcasts and just get kind of a feel for, well, from my opinion, how both of you thought it went. I always have my opinions. I think we always go okay, but from there, so we can start with the original old school podcast or and the in-person one as well. So what are your reflections on the previous 2 podcasts? And we'll go to our guest first.
I haven't got anything technical except for the sound. So we talked over Nav a lot because we couldn't hear him, basically. I mean, it's not that unusual to normal life anyway, but I listened to them again at the start of the week, which probably to the old school crew now explains some of my text messages from earlier on in the week. They might actually understand where that all came from. But basically, it made me remember how much prep you put in for the in-person podcast, Dom, and how much work you did and how long that took to set up. So I wanted to appreciate that again.
In a wheelbarrow.
Yeah, but not just that, all the equipment and everything, and we just sat and talked while you did all the setup, which seems slightly unfair, but we probably would have got in the way. So that's fine.
Something.
Yeah, and broken something. I basically really enjoyed listening to them, but I prefer audio. I definitely prefer the in-person podcast in audio.
Okay.
To on YouTube, and that for me is because I find the YouTube a little bit less personal because we're all quite far away.
Ah, interesting.
By the nature of the fact that there were so many of us. So obviously you wouldn't have had cameras in close up on us anyway, but so for me that works better audio. It made me remember how much we laugh when we're together. In fact, we basically spend most of our time laughing. I did sit and think, oh my god, how long did we talk about caterpillar cakes for? Like forever. And a few things I'm disappointed about. I have to say I'm really disappointed that Jerry has not released his hit song Spirulina yet.
Still writing it. So that last sentence.
Oh well, God, get on with it. You've had a year.
I'm trying to nail
Can't you
that last
rhyme it?
sentence. No, I can't.
It has been a year, by the way. It
Has
was
been a year.
It was
It has
April
been a year.
2020. It was the April 2024 podcast. Was the first Old School Crew.
Yeah, and I'm really quite disappointed no one has made Donald Duck do 50 Cent yet, because that would be good.
Forgot about that.
Yeah. So,
This is the thing.
yeah, no, it was fun. It was good to listen to them again.
Jerry saying forget about that. I mean, that's what me and Jerry were really massively exposed by Hooper, weren't we?
Yeah.
When he did the
You were.
quiz.
You don't remember anything, guys.
I mean, I've got the world's worst memory known to man anyway.
I think I could give you a run for your money with that one, Dom.
No, absolutely
yeah,
not.
yeah, no, I think so.
I think so.
The only reason I remember stuff about what's happened to friends and bits and pieces is because I write it down. I have a database of people. We were talking about spreadsheets earlier. I genuinely write stuff down.
God. Oh my God.
It's nice. I get loads of compliments when people go, "Oh, how did you remember that?" And I didn't. I wrote it down. I wrote it down, and I'll just randomly bring up something from like 3 or 4 months ago. Oh, do you remember when you spoke about that? How's that thing going? I think it's an all right thing, but
It works for you. It works for you.
well, I have to, otherwise I wouldn't know what my friends were doing day to day. But the podcasts, I don't write down the post-commentary notes. I only wrote the pre-commentary notes, so before the podcast.
You mean you don't have a spreadsheet where you've summarised what happened, what went well, what didn't go well? You know?
Oh, I don't need a spreadsheet of what didn't go well, because those bits I ruminate on all the time.
Yeah.
Interesting fact. Did you know that the sound for the in-person podcasts comes from none of the mics?
Really?
Yeah, it doesn't come from any of the mics. It comes from the...
So it wasn't worth me doing all that with Tien and trying to get us to talk?
No, it wasn't. Because the device in the middle picked up some static or magnetism, so all of the mics were like just had a hum throughout the whole thing,
buzzing, weren't they?
and it was the wrong auditory hum for me, where I was like, I can't. Unfortunately, my phone was close enough to Tien that picked her up beautifully, and the camera was good enough to pick up me and Jerry fine. So yours and Ian's occasionally is from the microphone. But most of the time it comes from the two cameras that they were recording from there. So yeah, most of it actually comes from those instead of the actual microphones that we used.
Wow.
Oh. Wow. I mean, the mics were fun.
Yeah, it was different.
And it was different, but...
Yeah, I've got to fix that before we do our next in-person podcast, because the next in-person podcast we're going to be on a hill, so in the middle of nowhere.
What caused that hum?
I have no idea. I've not yet figured it out. I kind of listened to it back and went arse, and then I haven't tried to figure it and fixed it. I suspect, to be honest, the mics that we've got, the mics that are there. I mean, how much are these, Jerry? Do you remember?
My mic was about 140, 150, something like that.
Yeah, it's mid hundreds. Those mics are £10 each.
Okay, well that's
So
fair enough.
So I wasn't expecting the greatest quality. When I did the test run, it was all fine. I suspect it was probably because, we had the TV that was next to it plugged in. We had 2 cameras plugged in. All it takes is a bit of electrical interference to kind of just muck about with those. So, yeah. Which won't be too bad when we're on top of a hill recording a podcast, Jerry.
Fair enough.
Sounds fun.
What reflections do you have on them, Jerry?
If I would recommend anybody who wants to subject themselves to the first old school podcast, I would definitely suggest watching it, just purely to see Tien's reactions to everything as we're talking through stuff. It's just hilarious. That's comedy gold. But that was good. I don't know why I was nervous, but I was nervous. Well, not the whole way through, obviously, but I started off being nervous. But really enjoyed that. The in-person podcast was fantastic. I loved it because we had so much fun with that. It was brilliant, and that's all thanks to you, Dom. As Carey said, you did all the hard work. So,
the whole day was great.
It was fantastic.
I'll be totally honest. It was nice just to drive down there, complain about how your car smelt of curry for the next 6 months.
Probably still smells of curry now.
Actually, it's gone. It's fine.
No.
It's
right.
sorted.
Well, we have to rectify that.
No, we do not have to rectify
by spilling
that.
more curry in?
6 months of smelling curry
Or something
in the
else.
car.
Something else.
No, thank you very much. I managed to. I knew
was
it
nice
eventually.
curry.
It was very nice curry, but I could do without my car smelling of it for 6 months. It was a lovely day.
Mixed with
It was
some
a really
Sex
nice day.
Panther.
In that time, it was the 40% of the time rather than
It
the
was
60% of the
40%,
time.
yeah,
It
it
works
was,
every time.
exactly.
Definitely
No,
a
I
big
loved
challenge
it.
on
I
that.
loved it. And look, it was our first in-person podcast, right? So, you went full ham with that. You you didn't mess around. You were like, right, we're going to do first in-person podcast. It's going to be set up away from any kind of a studio or anything. It's going to be just in some random Airbnb with multiple people. You had exercises and stuff for us to do, props, all sorts. So, yeah.
Interestingly, the thing that I remember the most was Tien folding that fitted sheet.
Sheet. Yeah. And now, can you fold a fitted sheet? Do you now fold a fitted sheet? I need to know. Or do you just shove it in the cupboard still?
No,
Do you
no,
fold
no,
it properly?
Yeah.
I don't.
Joey doesn't. I can tell by the look on his face.
Shove it in the cupboard. I haven't got time. I haven't got
Shove it
time
in the
for
cupboard.
that. Fucking hell. Fold a bloody
There's that age-old question, isn't it? How often do you wash your bed sheets?
daily.
I do not believe that.
I don't
probably
believe that.
about every 2 weeks.
I think most people are fortnightly. I'm weekly, but yeah. That's because I like the feeling of fresh bed sheets. So why can't I have it more weekly? Fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. Cool. All right. I'm just curious because I thought it was a good opportunity to get someone that's done both this type of podcast and the in-person podcast to kind of go, Dom, you did a job here, or Dom, this was really good. So.
I didn't realise I was supposed to tell you you'd done a shit job. You should have said on the brief.
Oh, now that you've said, yeah. Dom.
Now that you've mentioned, actually.
Now that you've opened up those floodgates. No, I'm joking. You did a brilliant job. It was fantastic.
That was great.
It was a very, very ambitious thing to do. I remember even at the time thinking, I don't know how we're going to pull this off.
Interestingly, the bit that I had most fun with was sticking the squashies to that wheelbarrow for Box of Lies. I just
Those bloody squashes.
And a bit that made people happiest was I kept the rest of the squashies and then handed that out as a bag.
Yeah.
Everybody. I was like, aha, snacks.
Waste not.
Worth it.
Yeah. They're squashies or squashums? They're squashies.
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 Why am I thinking squashums? Okay.
I don't know what squashums
I
are.
don't know. Okay. Ignore me.
We generally do.
Yeah, I know. But formally now you can ignore me.
Formally we
Formally you
can.
can
Rest of the
ignore me.
podcast.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. Hi, Dom.
Shall I turn his echo cancellation on, which
Yeah,
turns
just
him into
turn
a
him
black
on.
screen?
Yeah.
It didn't work.
I can still hear you though.
No, it didn't.
Even if you do that, I'll still hear you.
Yeah, but you'll be shouting into the void, literally.
Exactly.
Bit more of a traditional podcast this month. I've actually got a food of the month discussion point. So rather than getting people to say what's their favourite pizza topping or something like that, I've got a discussion point on this one. And it came up in conversation with some people at work. And I can't remember who it was. But what is the difference between a soup, a stew, and a curry?
And we've covered this before on the podcast as
On the
well.
podcast?
Yeah, we have.
Yeah.
No, I think we did sandwich, salad,
Oh, salad.
or oh god, I can't remember what the third was.
What was the third one?
I have to
Salad,
Google that now.
Was it stew? Maybe a stew. Maybe that's why I'm thinking sandwich, salad. No, sandwich, salad, or soup, or something like that. I don't know. Anyway,
Oh yeah, soup, salad, sandwich.
soup, salad, sandwich.
Food can only be a soup, salad, or sandwich. So, like a hot dog, for example, is a sandwich. I've got another one about hot dogs because hot dogs are tacos. So, we'll skip.
Okay.
It's another discussion point which I can get up in a
Of course
minute.
they are.
Yeah.
Right.
Of course. Fair enough, Dom.
Okay. You. Go on, Carey.
We're going to go back to this. I mean, there is an official answer to the difference between soup and stew and curries, but it's not very interesting. One of the chats we had, old school wise, a few months ago, it would probably depend on whether you'd done them in a slow cooker or not. Because if you'd cooked them in the slow cooker, most of the old school crew would say that they all taste the same. Doesn't matter what you do in a slow cooker, it all tastes the same when it comes out the other end. So, stop laughing, Jerry.
I'm laughing because I can just imagine, and Tien will be nodding right now as she's listening to this. And
Yeah,
Tien,
she will be.
I have
yeah,
not
she'll be
changed
like,
my
it all
stance.
tastes the same.
It does bloody taste the same.
No.
You can put in any
It all
ingredients.
tastes the same. And Nav will be horrified. Because he loves his slow cooker.
You could grate tree bark and shove toilet roll and anything you want. Just pour half a pint of
Sounds
bleach
nice.
into a slow cook it, and it'll still come out tasting the same as everything else that you put into a slow cooker, which would be like some sort of a beef stew.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you put in, you get beef stew at the end. Yeah, that's where we got to, isn't it?
Put into a slow
Yeah.
cooker, yeah.
And Nav disputes that. So he needs to prove it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't think I've had that many slow cooked meals. I don't have a slow cooker, so
Well, then you wouldn't have noticed.
Well,
no.
to basically eat something which
Beef
tastes the
stew.
same and smells the
beef
same
stew,
every
yeah.
single day, which is basically like beef stew, then yeah, get yourself a slow cooker. It's great.
Yeah. Go ahead.
If you never tire of eating the same flavoured food every single day, get a slow cooker.
Well, as I horrified everybody in the last podcast by saying that I would quite happily give up cooking and eating if I could just take a pill that gave me the right amount of calories
Yeah,
and
that's-
stuff and be
Oh
done
my
for the day.
God.
I know.
That's
No
messed
way.
up, Dom. That is really messed up.
That's
Seriously.
messed up.
Yeah.
Well, the irony being that this month I've had a cooking lesson. So
Yeah,
You have, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
which was good fun. But and this is what I don't like about cooking. I'm going to go into cooking now. Is that it's the prep. I can't be arsed with it. I can't be arsed to sit there and chop carrots and potatoes and peel stuff and
So rather than
then
do
put
the
it all
prep,
in a slow cooker for it to taste exactly the same as any other thing.
well, there you go. So that's pretty soul destroying. Doing all of that prep, chucking it into a slow cooker, and then it's
If you put it in slow cooker, yeah.
I'm hoping that I'm going to get some kind of special, like, I don't know, Singapore laksa kind of thing, but then it just comes out like beef stew again. But are you seriously telling me that rather than do all of the prep, you'd like to just and you end up with a lovely pad thai, you'd just take a pill that tastes like pad thai and fills you up?
No, it could taste of nothing and just be done with it.
What?
That's even worse.
Yeah, I'm not.
Dom,
I'm not
this
interested.
gets worse.
Tom!
So you don't even want to.
All
You
right,
can't even be asked to taste the food. You just want to feel full.
No.
I'm sure there's going to be some therapist or counsellor on that's going to listen to this and go, "You're quite broken here, Dom." Food is just sustenance for me, and it has been for a while. It's like I need this number of calories in and this number of calories out. And where I've been stressed, I'm like I just need calories, and then I'll be like, "Ooh, cake, yummy." And then, pizza, yummy, right? Because I can put it in 10 minutes, bish, bash, bosh, job's done, right? I haven't got to faff of cutting carrots or bits and pieces. So I'm lazy.
Yeah, it's the lazy, isn't it? Right. Yeah. Well, okay, well, when you come up to York, yeah, we won't bother with any of the nice places, Jerry, yeah?
No.
Why bother? No, if he's not going to appreciate it, why bother?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, just
That's what Swanee told me when he took me to the cooking list. He said, "Are you going to appreciate?" Yes, I am going to appreciate this. It was I don't know how to phrase my phrase that I've just kind of said, but it's a very kind of. Right. Okay, I'm going to compare it to driving. Bear with me, right? I am a big petrol head. I love cars. I wouldn't say I'm a petrol head. I don't mind if they're electric. I don't mind if they're petrol. There's only one car manufacturer that I would refuse to buy. No, there's two that I refuse to buy from. One of those is obviously Tesla for obvious reasons, and the other one is Citroen because it cost me like 15 grand to keep a Citroen running, and I would never do it again because French cars. Excellent.
Yeah.
Glad we got that out of the way. And when I switched to an automatic car, everyone was horrified. They were like, "But Dom, you like driving?" I'm like, "Yes, I do." So why have you gone to an automatic car? Because 99% of the journeys that I do, I don't want to faff around with a manual car, especially when you get stuck in traffic or you're going around town or you're doing this. For the once in a blue moon, you've got no idiot doing 40 miles an hour in a 60 zone or something like that on the country roads, that's when you want the manual car. That's where I like to have the manual license. And for me, food is kind of very similar to that. For 99% of the meals that I have throughout the week, right, I was like, I just need the food and let me keep going. But yes, absolutely, take me to a restaurant once every couple of months, then yeah, I love it. I think it's the greatest thing ever. For me, it's that kind of 99% of the time, there's no point. For the other 1% of the time, it's lovely. So that's how I compare it to. For me, anyway. I just can't be asked to think of something to eat new every day. I'm like, oh, God, minute.
Oh my God, try cooking for a family.
That's why I'm probably going to be permanently single and have no kids. I hope. So yeah, I've dramatically killed that conversation very quickly.
You have, yeah. And we haven't answered the question yet either.
Well, my advice to you is if you don't like doing any prep or whatever, you're not really fussed about food, you don't care what it tastes like, you don't want to, you don't care about presentation, get a slow cooker. You literally don't even have to peel the carrot. You don't even have to peel the carrot.
No, just shove it all in.
You shove in some carrots, just an onion, whole lump of meat, whatever. Let the slow cooker do its bit, and it doesn't matter, what you put in there. You can put Indian spices in there, other Asian spices, whatever. It'll come out like a beef stew, and you go, "Oh, that's a beef stew again." Yeah. Right, nice. You can put prawns in there.
But if you don't care, then you don't care.
You could even put prawns in there or chicken; it'll still come out tasting like beef stew. So just shove it all into a slow cooker, leave it for the day. Bosh, beef stew.
We have it to the distinct jovial taste
Job
on things.
done.
It's not that everything tastes like chicken; it's that everything tastes like
Everything.
stew.
If you're
That's the one.
if you're an
If it comes
advocate
with a
of
slow
slow
cooker.
cookers, yes, everything in your life tastes like beef stew.
Did we even want to answer the stew, soup, curry question?
Do we need to?
Do you want the official answer? Do we need to? It's really pretty obvious.
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, no, I mean, like, yes, it's
Go on.
pretty. It's probably pretty obvious.
Well, go on, give us the official answer then. Let's at least hear the
Carey's
official.
obviously got it written. I didn't write down the official answer. I'd have to go and Google it.
Oh,
So I'm
right.
sure Carey.
Soups and stews and curries offer unique tastes and textures. Soups are liquid based with various flavours. Stews have a rich consistency, and curries are vibrant dishes with spices. There you go. Woo, exciting.
I suppose it's a level of
Apparently.
stodginess, isn't it?
Yeah. Level of stodge and amount of spice. Good, that, isn't it?
I like the word stodge. It's a great word. So the other theory that's come up is the that I was just talking about, where hot dog is a taco. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hang on, let me share my screen.
Hot dog is a taco. Where do you find this stuff, Dom? Honestly.
Exactly. You got too much spare time, Dom.
There you go. It's called the cube rule of food for identifying dishes based on starch locations. So you've got the bottom one is a toast, bottom and top sandwich, bottom left and right is a taco, bottom left and right and top is sushi, bottom
What is going on there?
What the hell?
What the hell?
bottom and all the sides is a soup / salad with bread bowl, and all sides covered is a calzone.
It's the most
So based on
ridiculous
that,
thing I've
pizza is
ever
Okay.
seen.
Pizza is
Yeah.
toast. Hot dog is a taco because it's covered from the bottom and the two sides. I don't have other examples for the other ones, but yeah,
What's a club sandwich? Just a sandwich.
I'd assume it's just a sandwich on top of a sandwich.
Yeah.
For identifying
I don't know what to
dishes
say
based-
to that.
This is honestly, this is
I don't
so
know what to
ridiculous.
say.
Whoever's come up with that definitely needs. I need to have words with them. It's so
Yeah.
ridiculous.
You do that one.
So I'll contest the sushi one for a start, because you
it's
can
got
have
examples.
sushi which is just like a block of rice and then you have your fish on top.
No, so
That's a sandwich.
nigiri
That's
sushi.
toast.
It's got examples here, right?
Toast.
Toast examples: pizza, nigiri sushi, and
for
pumpkin pie.
God's sakes.
Bent toast.
For God's
Pumpkin pie.
sakes.
It's clearly American. So sandwich, examples of a sandwich: quesadilla, non-folded, toast, obviously. Okay, someone's made a toast sandwich.
Toast sandwich.
Yeah.
So they've got two pieces of bread that are
Two
non-toast
pieces,
there,
yeah.
put a slice of toast in the middle. Anyway, a Victoria sponge cake is a sandwich. Because the
I get that in
starch
theory.
location is the top or bottom with cream and jam. And
Yeah, I
lime.
get that in theory.
Taco examples: hot dog, Subway sandwich, and then they put slice of pie, taco on its side.
Oh, come
'Cause you've
on.
got
Yeah, that's
this
pushing
is,
it.
This is getting silly now.
sushi examples: wraps, so like a falafel wrap, pigs in blanket or sushi, and an enchilada. Oh, they've changed the name.
Okay.
They've changed the name of the soup / salad with bread bowl, and they've called it a quiche. Where you've got
But quiche doesn't have stuff around all four sides.
a quiche is starch all the way around because it's like a pie.
Unless it's crustless.
Not when you
I
cut
mean, it's
into it.
I would argue that
Or
they're
crustless, exactly.
Yeah. But examples are a cheesecake,
which
soup
case
in a
it's
bread
toast.
bowl, or a pita bread. Because a pitta.
Cheesecake is not got stuff all around. What kind of cheesecake
Yeah,
are they
cheesecake
eating?
definitely doesn't. I'm definitely
Well, no,
contesting
yeah, sometimes
that.
you can
No.
have cheesecake that doesn't have a crust around the edge.
Sometimes, most of
On
the
which
time.
case, it would be toast.
But it's not all along the side.
Oh, for
It is
God's
toast.
sakes. Well, hang on.
Okay, you've lost it.
This
Yeah.
is just so
a deep dish
ridiculous.
pizza, though, for example, where it does go up the sides, is a quiche. Yeah.
Okay.
What's a trifle? A sandwich?
There's no.
What kind of carbs have we got in a trifle?
I don't think it matters,
What kind of
does
starch have you got in your
Yeah,
trifle?
but
don't
only
think it
starch in a
matters, it's
trifle, so it
layered.
doesn't. No, this. No. It's, no.
have
it's
you got
about
lady
starch.
fingers in your trifle?
I was going to make a really crude joke, but it's not.
Yeah, no, don't behave yourself.
I don't even know how to answer that.
No,
Let's
I know.
move on.
But a calzone would then be
Let's move on.
a burrito or a whole pie, for example. Dumplings, calzone.
Get that?
They're just all starch.
Yeah. Oh, and then they've got a seventh one. Aha! So if you've got a layer in the middle of starch, it's a cake. So lasagna is a cake.
Club sandwich is a cake.
Club sandwich would be a cake,
Yeah.
not a sandwich. And then they've gone into nachos, which I suppose would be with the starch is in the middle, is inside. So they've put, obviously you've got nachos, you've got cereal as a nacho, as is a salad. So yeah. And then, as noted, and then the final sentence on this is humans are ravioli.
Well, hang
Okay.
on. We're,
Yeah,
we're
that I
not
can go with.
calzone. Why aren't we calzone?
Well, I don't know. I would say that a ravioli would be a calzone, to be honest. So, humans are calzones. That's what I'm going to title this podcast. Just call it
Because
that.
if we were anything
Oh,
else,
great, cheers.
if we were anything else, we'd be in big trouble. Let's face it.
Yeah, it'd be messy.
It would be.
Yeah, there's always that thing, isn't there? Like the one of the worst tortures would be death by cheese grater.
Oh,
Just
Ow.
rubbing you with a cheese grater.
Kind of like
yeah.
a metaphor
Don't
for my
recommend
life.
that.
Well, I've broken Jerry.
You have
right
broken
before.
me.
Let's move on to the
We
quiz.
haven't gone anywhere yet.
I'm very excited by this quiz because I was quite. It's not an original. It's not an original concept, but I'm quite excited. So this might take 5 minutes. This might take 3 hours. It entirely depends on how good you're feeling. with
Jerry's got to get to the paddock. Come on.
this. Yeah, we're going to take Larry to the paddock.
Larry.
So the quiz I've got just between you. I should have got a pen and paper, which I'm going to grab now as I slowly move away from my mic and get a little.
Do we need a pen and paper as well?
Yeah. Do we need supplies?
No. Just
You
gonna
sure?
shout it out. Yeah. You're just gonna shout it out.
Okay.
It's quick. It's a fairly
Oh,
quick.
wait.
It's a quick fire one. Quickish fire.
It might not be at this time of day.
Quickish fire.
3 hours.
It would take ages, yeah.
Jerry, you always remind me of the type of person that somebody would shout fire at Will, and you would go, "Who's Will?"
Yeah.
Then we'd have a moral dilemma on whether it's fair to bully Will that much with that much
Yeah,
gunfire.
why are you just picking
Anyway.
on Will?
Oh dear. So, the movie quiz, as Carey, you said that you were a bit of a movie buff. So,
No, I didn't say I was a movie buff.
Yeah, you have.
I watch a lot of films. Doesn't mean I know anything.
well, none of this is about the contents of the film. You purely need to guess the movie by its opposite title.
Oh, brilliant. Brilliant.
So,
love it.
The first one's pretty easy. Bottom Sword.
Top Gun.
See, you
Top
said that's
Gun.
pretty
Top
easy.
Gun,
Top
yes.
Gun.
So that's Jerry 1.
My brain doesn't work this
No,
way.
mine doesn't either. This is going to be hilarious. This is going to take 3 hours.
The first ones are quite easy. Some of the other ones are a little bit more difficult. Sacrificing public Rita.
Educating Rita.
Educating me to know.
Opposite title, so swap all of the words. Sacrificing public Rita.
Finding Private Ryan?
Close.
Saving Private
First
Ryan.
words. Save it right, Private Ryan.
Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's fine. It's fine. I haven't seen it, to be honest.
What?
Have you not? It's a great.
What the
It's a
hell?
really good film.
Jesus.
No.
Even
Never
I've seen
seen it.
that. First of the Mohawks.
Last of the Mohicans.
Last of the Mohicans.
Ah, Jerry got there just in time.
Soz.
The Fact of Nothing.
The Theory of Everything.
Yeah. You on a roll now, Jerry?
Crusty White Roll, which is a sandwich.
Noise of the Beef.
Silence of the Lambs.
Yes.
Oh, nice. Stew.
Adults
Lamb
Work.
stew. Child's Play.
Yeah.
Oh. Carrie's clawing this back.
Why Women. This might be a bit more of a tough one. Y is not WHY. Y is in the letter Y.
X-Men.
Doesn't help.
Yes.
X-Men.
Melted.
Frozen.
Frozen.
The Small Long.
The Big Short.
Yeah. Silver Ear.
Golden Fleece.
Close.
Not going for gold member, are you?
No.
No.
Yes.
Stop it.
Silver Ear.
Goldfinger.
Close. Right character, wrong film.
Goldeneye.
Goldeneye.
Ah, I don't know who to give that. I think that was a draw. The Lady from Aunt.
The Man from Uncle.
Man from Uncle.
Queen Kang.
King Kong.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Adult Passenger.
Baby Driver.
Yeah. One of my favourite films, that.
I love that film.
Cold Sleek.
Hot Fuzz.
Hot Fuzz.
Yes.
Oh. Ho, ho.
Sail Woman. Swan is going to complain about the silence now.
Sail is in S-A-I-L or S-A-L-E?
No, sail is in like a ship sail. Sail Woman. Opposite of a sail, opposite of a woman.
What's the opposite of a sail?
Someone's shouting at the podcast.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What does a sail do to a ship? It makes it go. What makes a ship stop?
Anchorman.
Yes.
Oh, very good. Very good. Jeez.
It's an awful death.
It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a beautiful
Oh, there you
life.
go.
Yeah, wonderful
All
life,
that.
wonderful life.
What she said.
The Red Kilometre.
Blue Mile.
Green Mile.
Green Mile.
Green
Why
Mile.
did I say blue? What the hell? I'm thinking.
What are you
I don't
on?
know. I'm thinking blue pill, red pill, Matrix.
Lawful Sailors of the Mediterranean.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Lawful
You
sailors.
Human.
Sorry.
You Human.
iRobot.
Yep.
iRobot.
Yeah. Hilt Walker.
Kite Runner.
No.
Maze Runner.
Second word is correct. Hilt. What is the opposite of a hilt?
Blade Runner. God's
Yes.
sakes. Of course.
And the last one, this will make you very happy. The Smooth Delight Picture. The Smooth Delight Picture. It's a film that I've not seen and was thoroughly recommended to see.
By whom?
That's a good question. I can't remember who.
Oh, I see what you're doing
suggested it
there.
in art. Yeah, can't remember who it was out of the four of you.
Smooth.
Opposite of smooth, opposite of delight,
Rough.
opposite of picture.
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah, Rocky Horror Show.
Rocky Horror.
Yeah,
Nice.
Rocky Horror Show.
It was Ian.
That
It's
was
Ian.
Slarty
Yes.
Bartfast, yeah.
And that's all of them.
That
was
was
a
brilliant.
little
I
bit of
loved
fun
it.
entertainment.
Very,
Oh,
very clever.
yeah.
Very clever.
I'd seen the concept.
Very clever.
I'd seen the concept come up, and some of them I deliberately stole, but then some of them I was like, oh, I'll just find a movie that I like and then just try and think what the opposite of that is.
Was Hilt.
And I'm sure there's going to be
Was Hilt.
opposite of Hilt.
Hilt.
Yeah.
What was it? Hilt.
Walker.
Walker. Did you come up with that?
Yeah. Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. So like things like Sacrificing Public Rita. That one I was like, how can you be the opposite? that was one I'd seen on Instagram and stuff like that. The Fact of Nothing, The Noise of the Beef. Those ones were ones I'd seen. But then it got to like so I started to look at things like movies I liked. So it's like Baby Driver, Adult Passenger, Hot Fuzz. No matter how long it took me to find the opposite of fuzz.
Yeah, what was
Because
that
it's
again?
not-
Cold.
Cold Sleek.
Called
Cold
Sleek.
Sleek.
Sleek. And then the one that I did I really like, which I just think just found funny. So Pirates of the Caribbean was Lawful Sailors of the Mediterranean. That made me chuckle to myself.
I love that.
Yeah, and then the last one was I was looking through the movies that you'd all suggested and seeing if I could find the opposite of that one.
Ah.
I couldn't quite figure out an opposite for Stardust. I was like, what could you do for that? That's quite difficult, but it'd have to be something like moon, opposite of dust. Sometimes they're not opposite, sometimes they're kind of related.
Solid.
Yeah. That'd be quite a
Planet-
difficult one to do.
Planet Clean.
Yeah, something like Planet Clean or something like that.
Planet Polish.
I would never have got that.
Yeah.
I love
you can
that.
also do it for TV shows. So one of the ones is like Normal Stuff. Think a TV show. So the opposite of normal and the opposite of it's not really the opposite of
Paranormal.
stuff, but stuff.
Activity.
No,
No.
TV show,
TV show.
Netflix, starring Millie Bobby Brown.
Oh, Stranger Things.
Stranger Things. Normal stuff. Stranger Things.
I love this. We have to do this again, Dom.
Oh
Fixing
God,
good.
we're going to do this again.
We are
Fixing Good.
Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad. Yeah.
Breaking Bad, yeah.
Yeah. So there's a few that you could do.
Oh.
There's probably
Fantastic.
We'll be here a while.
there you go. And just 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Does it matter? Jerry won.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
It's going on the spreadsheet.
Jerry won 14
It
to
is.
7.
It's going on the spreadsheet. Yeah.
It's only because Hooper did it to us and then cheated.
I still contest that.
dare you?
I still contest that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Hooper was like, just go one higher, even though we're both miles
One
out.
higher, one higher.
Yes.
Yeah, but that was fun.
That was
Yeah.
fun.
Guess the movie by its opposite title. I'm sure there's other things as well that we could do, like guess the object from something like that as well.
We have to do this. We have to continue it. It's brilliant. It really makes
This is
you
a
think.
whole other podcast.
Yeah, it really makes you think, doesn't it? Like, what?
Well, it is. It's from another podcast. So the podcast is it's called Pulp Kitchen, and they do movie reviews. So the other one, which would take a bit more prep, that they do is guess the movie from its sound. And sometimes, sometimes they'll play things like, if I played like the sonic grenade that Jango Fett shoots off in Attack of the Clones, right? You'd probably guess it. Sometimes it's lines from the movie, sometimes it is purely sound, but some of them are really obscure, and I wouldn't say that my movie knowledge is that good. And then the other one that they do, which I think would be really difficult, would be guess the movie from its cast, which you could do something like, to Mark Strong, Robert De Niro, Sienna Miller, and you just keep giving more characters until you get to something like Henry Cavill, Charlie Cox, Claire Danes.
Stardust.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, I deliberately put that because it was already up on the screen. And
You
yes,
should
I
have got
it in
that
my
quicker,
Henry
Carey.
Cavill's in this.
Seriously. Yeah, I know. I didn't realise.
I'm half asleep this morning.
right.
I really am half asleep this morning.
You literally should have got that in about 3 seconds.
Oh dear.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I was tempted when he got to Sienna Miller, and then I was like, hold on a second. See who comes next.
Yeah. Again, though, you could do like Martin Freeman, Olivia Colman.
World's End.
No. Bill Nighy.
No.
Notting Hill.
Love Actually.
Love Actually.
Jim Broadbent.
Oh, God.
4 Weddings
Timothy
and a Funeral?
Dalton.
I know.
Timothy Dalton.
And then it's got Nick Frost. Simon Pegg.
Oh, Hot Fuzz.
Shaun of the Dead.
You've said the other two, Carey. The other two of the trilogy.
I know, I like the other two.
What? Whoa. What do you mean you like the other two? What are you saying about Hot Fuzz?
I do like Hot Fuzz. No, I do like Hot Fuzz.
Oh,
I do like Hot Fuzz.
what's your ranking of the
I
three?
just picked it up yesterday again. Shaun of the Dead would be at the bottom. And the other two are pretty close, to be honest. Pretty close.
Interesting.
Some
You have to make me pick. I'd probably go for Hot Fuzz, to be honest.
Yes.
So mine would be World's
Sorry,
End.
Jerry,
World's
sorry.
I
Sorry.
wanted you to pick
Sorry.
because me and Jerry have the same order. It's Shaun of the Dead. Well, no, we've both have Shaun of the Dead at the bottom, and then I have World's End and Hot Fuzz, and Jerry has Hot Fuzz and World's End.
Hot Fuzz and World's End. Yeah. I mean, World's End does have its plus points, and Wickham Station is a big plus point.
Hey,
Has to be said.
any film that has High Wickham
Hey.
Station in it,
Any
is a
film
winner
with
for
Wickham
me.
Station in it. And we'll be there.
and the camera angle, you can see the Flint Cottage pub as well
You can see the Flint Cottage. Yeah.
as he turns in. Oh my God.
And then they play Loaded by Primal Screen, which is quite
Right.
nice. Yeah, so yeah,
There you
we'll go with that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that would be the other thing then. Wouldn't it? You could do it like guess the movie by its choice of songs.
Oh, but that would be easier. That'd be much easier.
That
You
would
reckon?
be. Yeah, I think that would be.
Oh,
I think that would
yeah,
be.
music in a movie is really important.
Yeah. Because if you did like,
I mean, like by literally just calling out what like songs are playing, like actual songs, not if you
Yeah.
played their soundtrack, then yeah.
okay, so if
would
I said Steelers Wheel stuck in the middle,
Then I'm going to go for Reservoir Dogs.
exactly. There you go.
Yeah, there would be a song that's been made truly famous by being in a movie, I suppose. If you said any Linkin Park song, Transformers done. Take a pick.
True. Yeah.
Or a Michael Bay film.
John Barry.
John Barry.
He's a composer.
Oh, he's done a lot.
Right, so you can say pretty much any Bond film. I know he hasn't
Yeah.
just done Bond films.
Oh yeah, if we're gonna, I mean, like, you've got what is it, Hans Zimmer?
If you're going to go for composers, then
Well, yeah,
you know,
Hans Zimmer's a bit...
I mean, Hans Zimmer is
He's
everything.
everything. He's brilliant,
everywhere.
Yeah.
I think it's probably I think he's Inception and Pirates of the Caribbean are his bigger ones.
He also
And
did
Gladiator.
Interstellar, didn't he? He did Interstellar. He
Didn't he?
did... Oh my God, what hasn't he done? That would be quicker to go through the list of what he hasn't composed music for.
Interstellar, Gladiator, Inception, The Lion King. He did The Dunes. He did Dark Knight. Oh, hang on a minute. Right, here we go. Right, he's doing. Holy moly! My screen isn't actually wide enough. Can I do that? Yes, I can. So he has done. I mean, just in 2024, he did Eden. Don't know that one. Kung Fu Panda 4. Let's just go. So he did. Yeah, he did No Time to Die, James Bond. He did Wonder Woman, the SpongeBob movie, Lion King, Blade Runner 2043, Dunkirk, Batman vs Superman, Interstellar, The Amazing Spider-Man, Man of Steel, the Dark Knight series, Pirates of the Caribbean series. He did Madagascar. He did the Sherlock Holmes with what's his name? Robert Downey Jr. Da Vinci Code. He did The Last Samurai, which I think is a great underrated film. El Dorado.
It's a busy man.
Yeah.
Bloody hell. How's he managed to do all of that? Really? Guys,
Yeah, and also how much money has he got?
Jeez, yeah.
He did the Simpsons movie. I did not know that.
Hans Zimmer.
Genius.
Simpsons.
It's one of your favourite films, Don.
I like the Simpsons movie.
I do.
The Simpsons movie and The Last Samurai on that list are the two underrated films.
Agree.
And very similar, obviously.
Very in their own way. If you put the animation
What
to
can I
one
say?
side.
Of course.
Yeah, they're very different.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. On to everybody's favourite thing, and Jerry's least favourite thing.
Oh no. Blindly rate.
I'm actually now looking at my notes rather than just the document, and have I missed anything? But I'll do the blind rates, and then I've got a question. I've got a question before Jerry goes wild.
Oh, God.
So, blindly rates. I've got 90s comedies is the first one. I don't know how well this is going to go because this is not my forte of discussion.
It's not my forte either.
These are comedies that were around in the 90s, so please don't kill me if they started in the 80s and subsequently went into the 90s.
Okay.
It was very difficult because they're not. I've not put it on the list, but for example, Last of the Summer Wine I think went from like the 1960s to like the 2000s.
Yeah,
and
it did.
Yeah.
so it was on every bloody list of best rated comedies for every sort of freaking decade. I was like, it can't be the best one for every decade. When was its primary decade? Anyway, normal rules apply, so just pick a number between. There are only 5 for each of these, which is why there are 2 today.
Okay.
First comedy is Red Dwarf.
Oh, what?
2.
Yeah,
2.
I'm going to go 2.
Well, it depends what series we're going up to, but 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The second one is Father Ted.
1. All the way.
In the 90s. Yeah. 3.
3.
3. Sorry, just before we go
3.
any further, Father Ted is the only
Genius.
It is genius.
It is genius.
It's the only comedy.
I'm waiting to see what else comes up.
It's the only comedy.
That's a dangerous game.
The reason why I'm putting it at number one for me is it's the only comedy where I've had to pause it because I've been crying, laughing, and I once couldn't breathe. I was laughing so much at one of the episodes. Anyway, when he was left all the memorabilia.
Anyway.
So number one for me, yeah. Number three for you, okay.
Third.
Well, we'll see what else comes up.
Yeah, it could be a dangerous game,
Yeah,
as Jerry
exactly.
has found
I
out.
could be wrong.
Jerry
It
has
could be
found
wrong.
out where he
Exactly.
said something at number one is lovely boiled egg, which you'll never let me forget.
Boiled egg.
Oh,
Sake.
damn it. I
You
knew we
see-
forgot
yeah,
something.
Exactly. Right?
Yeah. Third one, Only Fools and Horses.
3.
5.
Vicar of Dibley.
Ooh, 1.
4.
You've only got 5 left, Jerry.
Oh,
So,
have I? Sorry, of course. Yeah, 5
no,
then.
So no, that was 4. No, that was 4. You now only have 5 left. So in your 5 slot, Jerry, and in your 4 slot, Carey, is I'm Alan Partridge.
Oh no.
Oh,
No, I'm quite
dude.
upset about that. I'm quite upset about that. I love I'm Alan Partridge. Oh.
That's fine. Can I push that one down to about 10 or 11?
So-
I'm Alan
I hate
Partridge.
Alan
Really?
Partridge. I hate it.
Yeah, I'm not a big
I hate
I'm
it.
not a big Alan Partridge fan. It's all cringe comedy, so I really struggle with it.
No, exactly.
I
Yeah.
really struggle with it. Whereas Father Ted is so ridiculous. It's a bit more slapstick, almost comedy rather
love
than
it.
cringe. It's just
Oh, it's brilliant.
ridiculous. So so you, Carey, you have Vicar of Dibley, Red Dwarf, Father Ted, I'm Alan Partridge, and Only Fools and Horses. I'm assuming you'd swap I'm Alan Partridge and Only Fools and Horses.
I would. Yeah.
Happy with your 1 of Vicar of Dibley, or would you change any of them?
Oh, yeah. No, that's fine. I love it.
I'm going in.
I'm going.
And Jerry, you would have Father Ted, Red Dwarf, Only Fools and Horses, Vicar of Dibley, and I'm Alan Partridge.
So I would swap out Red Dwarf and I'm Alan Partridge, actually.
What, swap them round?
Yeah, swap them round.
Swap them round.
Wow.
Put Red Dwarf.
5.
Whoa. Whoa.
Fair enough.
Do you know my favourite scene from Father Ted is when Ted's dreaming of that. There's a famous Irish actress, and he's having this dream where, and everything's going really well in the dream. So basically, like, he's chatting her up, and they're declaring their love for one another, and then Dougal just suddenly wakes Ted up out of this deep dream, this deep sleep, and he's having this dream, and he goes, Ted, do you want a peanut? And he's going, no, Dougal, I don't. Go back to sleep. So then he goes back to sleep. He drifts off again, thinking, oh, I'll just pick up from where I left off. But it's too late at that point. So then you see him screaming, and he's running through this field, and he's being chased by these 2 giant peanuts that are going, whoa, chasing after him. It's genius.
Oh, dear. I have a second set of blinding rates, which are oddly satisfying things. Again, this is just something I've just plucked out of thin air and just seen what it is. And I think this may
Upset me.
upset people, depending on what their preference is.
Upset people, yeah.
Specifically Jerry.
Thanks, Dom.
I live to serve. Right, oddly satisfying things. And we've already discussed this one today. So the first one is fresh bed sheets. Get me
That
tongue
as
back.
well.
2.
So,
Yeah, I'm
very-
going 2 as well.
Okay. Peeling off PVA glue from your hand.
4. Jerry doesn't find that satisfying, so
It
it's
is.
like, what the
It
fuck?
is, but I don't think it would be in my top 5, so I'd say 5 for that.
The sound of cracking ice.
Ooh, so that's 3.
3.
Cool. So, Jerry, you have 1 and 4. Carey, you have 1 and 5. The glide you get from a pair of scissors when you're cutting wrapping paper, when you get to that point and it goes...
1.
1.
1 all the way.
1.
That's Father Ted Strong.
1.
That is Father Ted Strong, that is. Definitely.
That's a 1.
No,
I'm sure we just made a bunch of listeners go, yes!
No shadow of a doubt.
So, Jerry, your 4.
Definitely a 1.
Your 4, and Carey, your 5 is pressure washing videos.
I can live
Watch
with
people
that.
do pressure washing.
Yeah, I can live with that.
What?
It's quite sad. That is quite satisfying to watch.
Just watching it. What?
Or watching the before and after of pressure washing and things like that.
Or people that clean old carpets. Old dirty carpets, things like that. It's very, very
Oh,
satisfying.
people have got too much spare time.
Well, I wouldn't...
I don't sit there from morning to night watching these things, or when I'm on the bog.
I know about your YouTube history.
Well, you caught a glimpse. True, but
Wow.
that was Robot Val. That
True.
was Robot Val.
And other YouTube history. When Tien's there watching her videos of people folding sheets.
I don't have to do that anymore. I've got a podcast to watch. To watch the end. How do you do this again?
You just watched the podcast. How did she do this?
You got that on the most played or the most replayed or something. It shows the
Yes.
spike.
Yeah.
He's watching it every week.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Cool. So that was so Jerry, you had wrapping paper glide, fresh bed sheets, the sound of cracking ice, pressure washing videos, and peeling off PVA glue.
Yeah, I wouldn't change a thing.
I think. Yeah, and Carey, you had paper wrapping glide, fresh bed sheets, sound of cracking ice, and then you had PVA glue at number 4 and pressure washer videos at 5. So slight difference.
Yep,
Wouldn't change it.
definitely.
Nice.
No.
I need to try harder.
Yeah, must try
Yeah,
harder.
you did all right with that, Tom. You did all right with that. You chose some good ones.
Nice. I think what it is when I've got the set of 10, as I can put a few more.
You can throw clangers in
complete
there.
ones that are absolute clangers
Yeah.
in there, and I find if I throw the clangers, like. You either put all the clangers at the beginning and people go, oh my god, they're all going to be clangers, so I'm going to put these higher, and then suddenly you get something really nice on the end. Or you put, as I did, put a clanger
Boiled
right
egg
at the end
strategy.
when Jerry's like, I don't want to commit to my number 1 spot because there might be something really good.
Boiled egg
And now
it
he's
is.
like, fuck it.
Yeah.
So the next bit I think is probably going to be poignant questions from Jerry, but I have one bonus one because Carey, you work in a school, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I'm asking everybody this now. Do you believe in the conspiracy theory that a full moon sends kids crazy?
Oh no, not this again. Yes.
Excellent. Excellent. I'm so glad you brought this
And
up.
the wind.
I'm so glad you brought this up.
I'm going to go with and the wind, and believe it or not, snow.
I mean, that's the snow. I can understand.
Snow's an obvious one.
But the wind drives the kids crazy. If it's a windy day, then the playground is just mental.
But my argument for this is, yes, if I was a person that was being forced to go outside and it's a fucking windy day, then I'm going to go mental as well. It doesn't matter whether I'm a kid or an adult. Somebody's making me go outside.
I know, because we've had this discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had this discussion, but it's something that everyone who works in schools will say, Dom.
Yeah.
If it's a windy day, the kids are mental, and the full moon, yeah, it does. And there's a lot more accidents as well.
What, car crashes or accidents?
Yeah, in the playground.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was just trying to which accidents are you referring to?
So, okay, so let
In terms of the silly little accidents where people drop things or bash their head and those kind
let's
of
get
things.
quite specific with this. So, are you talking about
Okay.
on the day of the full moon? So that evening it's going to be a full moon, or are you talking about the day after you've had the full moon?
Talking about full from the day beforehand to the day after.
To the day after. So you're talking about a 48-hour period of madness.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Well, there is something
I mean,
to be said. Like Steph and I, we because I know you don't believe it, Dom, do you?
Well, interestingly, Steph, the only
No, he
argument
doesn't.
that I believed was when it came down to the etymology of lunatic,
Yeah.
right? As a bit of a word nerd.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a bit like that. Where's my phone? But I have found an ally, somebody who agrees with me.
Just one.
Just one, yeah. It's a new button. And they came back with quite bits. They actually more got onto the. Also, this person, I love this person because they've gone to settle the moon thing, as if their opinion is the best. To be fair, they're a scientist, and I'm not going to call them out. I'm not going to call them out, but they'll know who they are. Werewolf legend primarily exists in Western Europe. Historically, pre-mainstream street lighting, Western Europeans would go to the pub after work, obviously, and return home before it gets too dark. When there is a full moon, because of the additional light, people would stay out longer, drink more, and eventually stagger home in the dark. The drunk singing, howling, staggering creepy walk, and general drunkenness, smell / animalistic behaviour, such as pissing in the street, was the quote that they put, probably got the drunkards' labels as dogs, hence werewolf. But also, kids are just super impressionable. They have nothing to do with a full moon, but yes, poor sleep patterns and moody behaviours may also contribute to the bad behaviour. Plus, behaviour is contagious. So if one kid in a class of 30 had an issue the night before, the rest are a time bomb. So what I basically comes down to kind of what I think it is like it's to do with just a slight lack of sleep, and all it takes is for one child to be a little bit crazy, and then the rest of them are all gone. But also, I also get the etymology side of things, where lunatic comes from lunar, so there must be some sort of effect. So I don't believe in this whole like hocus pocus, it's a full moon, children are crazy. I think there's a scientific explanation to do with sleep or something around that causes the children to be a little bit more ratty, and then you put 30 kids in a room, yes, you're going to have a bit of madness.
Put 30 adults in a room, you're going to get madness, to be fair.
Well, yes, this is true. And I can see Carey.
Depends on the adult.
Well, that's true. There was a point Carey was like, no, kids are just mental.
But you do notice it. So just going back to this, though, you do actually notice that. So if somebody was to tell you... Okay, so if you didn't know it was a full moon, would you be able to tell that it's a full moon over that 48-hour period just by the children's behaviour?
Have done in the past. I don't keep track of the
So you've
full
had
moon.
moments. You've had moments where you've gone, bloody hell! It's just, they've lost the plot, and then you've looked into it and gone, oh shit, it's a full moon. Afterwards.
Yeah.
That was Steph's example when she was on the last podcast.
Yeah.
So you've done
Because
I'm with Steph.
Because this is the reason why I never believed Steph before, because she would text me and go, oh, it's a full moon, the kids are going to be bad. And that goes back to the very first point, right? You're looking, you know it's a full moon, so you're going to look for the negative behaviour.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like a reinforcement / like...
Yeah.
It's the same way that if you want to buy a car and you've got your sights on a particular car, you'll suddenly see that car everywhere because your mind is kind of a spotlight effect. And so I always say...
Yeah, no, I get that.
But Steph has said, no, I've had days where I've gone, the fuck is wrong with these kids? And then looked it up and gone, oh, it's a bloody full moon. That'll explain it.
Yeah.
Whereas I just think it's normal child behaviour that... It probably just comes in cycles, in hormone cycles. Maybe it's just something to do with that. It just happens to sync up with the moon every 28 days. I don't know. I'm pulling everyone's leg now.
You've got full Leroy
Let's
Jenkins.
not talk about hormones.
No,
Thank you.
me and Jerry can't talk about those.
No, I don't need to talk about hormones and lunar cycles, thank you.
Although one
can't
thing
say
I
that.
will do...
Tien's not here.
One thing I will do then is I'll just jump in with my joke of the week. So...
Are you thinking the same one that I'm thinking?
I don't know. No, it's got nothing to do with that. So Russell Crowe and Sheryl Crow walk into a bar. The barman quickly reaches out for the phone, picks it up, dials 999 and says, Hello, police. I'd like to report an attempted murder.
Of course.
That's awful. Get in the bin.
That's dreadful.
Oh dear.
Oh my god, they get worse.
My terrible joke that I may cut out is, what's the difference between an enzyme and a hormone?
I don't know.
You can't hear an enzyme.
Now you're going to have to figure out whether or not.
That's
now
just
you're going to have to
dreadful.
figure
That's
out
really bad.
whether or not you're going to
Yeah.
actually bleep that.
Where was that?
that.
Yeah. What's the timestamp?
1 hour, 6 minutes, 4 seconds.
Swanee would appreciate it. I know he would. I'm just going to leave the Swanee would appreciate it. He'll message me later on and he'll be like, when he listens to the
what?
podcast, he goes, what did you say? And I have to remember what it was. He did get really freaked out because last on the quiz when I said, oh, everyone get yourself a pen and paper and you can play along except Swanee because he'll be driving. He was driving. He was like, the fuck?
Am I allowed to say at this point you've just lost the game?
Oh, for God's sake, Jerry.
Oh no, Jerry!
I thought I'd just get that in there. Because I thought it's going to happen at
How
some
could
point.
you?
Right.
That is going to be amazing when people listen to this podcast. They are going to be like, you son of a...
Yeah, just lost the game.
Yep.
Oh, dear. Anyway, poignant questions. Jerry Goes Wild. All over to you.
Over to me. Here we go. Are you ready for this, Carey?
Are you ready, Carey, by the way?
Oh my god.
So we've got...
No, I'm
We've
not.
got-
I was warned about this yesterday.
Oh, I haven't been warned.
I wasn't given any clues, but I was
Okay.
warned.
You've got 10 quite serious-ish, quite not serious really, but sort of standard questions and 3 ridiculous ones. Okay, so let's start with this one. Number
Okay.
1. Do you believe in aliens? Extraterrestrial life, probably to be more specific. Extraterrestrial beings or entities, maybe if you want to get even more.
Did you say beings or beans? It
Beings,
sounds like beans. then.
Beans.
Bravo, Echo,
Beings.
India,
Bean.
November, Golf, Sierra. Beings.
I'm really curious because I know that Jerry's quite a conspiracy theory fanatic.
Oh, by the way, Dom, you have
Done
to answer
episodes.
these. You have to answer
Yeah,
these
yeah,
as
yeah.
well.
yeah.
right?
I'm
So-
I'm
yeah.
very curious.
You're not leaving me on my own.
Yeah,
God.
yeah. It's not just carrying this. Yeah. See
I'll
ya.
just have a general chat. See you later. It's difficult, but I think it's hard. And I think if you get right down to it, it's difficult to believe that we could possibly be the only thing out there. So I think I'd probably have to say yes. But not based on any evidence, just based on the fact that I think it'd be difficult for us not to be on our own.
Theory of probability.
Okay. Okay.
It's
Purely from a stats
Yeah,
side of
yeah.
things.
Let's just keep like that bit. Do you know what? It's interesting because we've done a lot of the conspiracy stuff, Jerry, and I am really not a conspiracy theorist. I don't believe that strongly. Well, I don't believe really in ghosts or phenomena. Most things can be attributed to something science-based. If you'd said intelligent aliens, I would have been like, probably not. But do I believe that there are creatures that are on other planets, whether that's at the micro level or like, then yes, technically.
Okay.
But I don't know. I'm not normally. I've never been really enamored by UFO sightings and stuff like that. I'm a bit like, yeah, whatever.
Intelligent sentient beings. Probably be a better way
I
to
wouldn't say.
put
I wouldn't say that we're an intelligent species.
it. Well,
Beans.
exactly. Beans. Yes, beans.
Well, yeah. Where are you going with this?
Slow
Yeah.
cooker. Can
Right.
we go in the slow cooker?
burrito. That
If
one.
you were...
I don't want to be beef
you-
So wait, hang
stew.
on, a burrito's a calzone, isn't it?
yeah, that's true.
So now I'm going to go on calls, Jerry. Instead of saying we're going to transition from wrapping it up to let's burrito this to let's calzone,
Let's
this.
calzone this. Let's boo-boo. That's like the world's end. It goes, come on, drink up, let's boo-boo.
Let's boo boo. Let's boo boo.
Right.
Oh God.
Okay, so you're saying that you don't believe that there's intelligent life out there. There's just some form of life. Dom?
There's some
that
form
right?
of
Some
life.
form of life. Okay.
Intelligence is so. What's the phrase? It's relative, isn't it? So.
Yeah, it's true. And as you
Like,
say, I don't
what-
think we've got much
Subjective.
intelligent
Yeah,
life
subjective. That's the word I
Yeah.
wanted. Yeah.
Here. Okay.
How do you define that?
All right. So, Tom, you've learnt about fragrances. Carey, you know all about fragrances. So, you know basically what smells you like. But what's the worst smell for you?
Oh God.
Ooh. Wow. Okay. Wow. Interesting.
Oh my God.
Interesting. That's a really tough question, because
That's really hard.
I can explain a little, my thinking behind that is like, is there smells that like I'm like, oh, I just don't like that smell, or are there smells that make like me physically feel unwell in other ways than just kind of the nose smell? So I have to admit, like, one of them I would say is probably sick, vomit, whatever you want to call it, like, because it immediately makes me want to hurl.
Ralph.
Yeah, Ralph. We can't use
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Oh.
Yes, that's definitely one. That's up there. I will say also, I hate the smell of petrol, and I know other people like it, but that's just a
Oh,
I love the
petrol.
smell
that's
of
that.
petrol. Oh,
Don't like going to
so
a petrol
good.
station.
I love it.
But I also hate that kind of. I call it like the post drunkenness stale. Kind of, you go into like the back end of like a subway station type thing, and it's like all that really like stale kind of beery kind of that's horrible.
What about stairwells in public car parks and stuff like that?
Yeah,
That's-
those types of
Yeah.
areas.
Yeah. I'm gonna go for the smell of. I actually really don't like it when I'm cooking meat. I don't like the smell of cooking meat.
Oh,
Some beef and chicken and stuff. I actually don't
Put it
like
in
the
slow
smell of it
cooker,
when I'm
slow
cooking
cooker.
it.
where's the beef?
In the slow cooker.
Coming out of the slow cooker, regardless of what you put in.
Exactly. Okay.
By the way, you aren't going to get away with some of this, right? So
No, I'm gonna
I know
answer
that
that
you
one.
believe in alien.
Oh yeah, hang
come
about. Yeah,
on,
that's
yeah.
the point.
Yeah,
Do I
answer
believe
that
in
one.
intelligence? So that's a tough one.
Nice try, buddy.
Yeah. Well, so I'm just going into a bit of a rabbit hole with this whole topic, to be fair. So I listened to a podcast called That UFO Podcast, which is great. I listen to other ones, but that's my favourite one. But what I like about that is the very balanced view that you get. So the guy that presents it is, he's not one of these people that goes, "Oh, there are definitely aliens out there. UFOs definitely." He's just saying, "Look, there's something, but what is it?" Now, I don't know. I'm not sure about extraterrestrial because there's other things that you could explain the UAP phenomena with. But so, in short, if I had to choose, I'd say yes. But there are lots of caveats to that. So that's the answer to the first question. The second question, bleach. Literally,
really?
I
love
could be
bleach.
sick. It makes me feel sick. So when you said, Dom, you said, "Oh, if you smell something that literally physically makes you bleach." Oh,
That's interesting.
Really?
bad.
I love the smell of bleach and like cleaning products. I love
Labs.
Yeah.
Well, I don't mind.
Labs.
I don't mind antibacterial spray. That's all right. Or Mr. Sheen or anything like that. It's fine. Doesn't bother me. Mr. Sheen.
You've been sniffing
Yeah, I
the
don't mind. It does actually
machine.
get you high. But bleach. Oh, Literally,
No, I
I
like
could
the
be
smell of
sick.
bleach.
Yeah.
Really?
If I smell it for too long, or if it's too
Oh no,
strong,
ammonia's lovely. Bleach.
I could be sick.
I like this ammonia.
Okay.
Ugh.
I'm sure.
Okay,
I'm sure
ammonia,
I've
yeah.
probably killed a few brain cells sometimes with where I've had been in the bathroom with the bleach, bleach in the bathroom and stuff. But yeah.
I've definitely killed a few brain cells in the lab.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Some of the stuff that you've done.
Definitely.
Right, yeah.
Thanks.
Oh yeah, and the lab. Right. And the lab.
And the
yeah.
lab, thanks. So we weren't going to talk about past
I
history.
like to talk about it, mate. Right. So,
No.
question number 3. If you weren't called Carey, if that wasn't your name, and you could choose any name you wanted, which name would you go for?
Dom, that's going to be hard for you.
I have
we've spoken-
answer, which
we've
I've got a
talked
cop-out-
about this,
I've got
haven't we,
a cop-out
Dom?
answer of mine, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you talked
I
about
think we
this?
have.
Oh my god.
I'm trying to remember what your name would be now, Dom.
I'll tell my story again.
Yeah.
Well, should I tell my story while
Yeah,
Carey
go on.
thinks?
Tell your whilst Carey has to think about it.
You tell your story while I think. I'm not sure I want to be called anything else.
I like my name. Like it's the one part of me that I really like. I think my parents have made a good choice, both my first and my middle name. For those who don't know, my middle name is Lloyd. I do like my name. But during my parents' my mum's pregnancy, like scans and stuff back in the 90s, early 90s, weren't as good, and due to the drugs that my mum was taking, it was something ridiculous, like a 95% chance that I was supposed to be a girl. So the name that they had picked out for me was Amanda. For that, and then hello, and I can say this because I identify still as a guy, but yes, as I arrived and I'm a guy, so quick, pick a different name. And to be fair, like I said, I do like my name, so I wouldn't change it. Wouldn't change my name.
Yeah, but if you had to,
No, like at gunpoint, just take me out. Right.
just take me out. That's not even an option.
Damn it, can't be
Yeah,
asked
exactly.
straight.
No, I'm not
Fine.
good. Yeah. No, that's how much I like my name.
Not an option.
Interesting. And seen as the quote yesterday that I read yesterday was, I just need to be taken out. On a date or with a sniper, either or. Not particularly fussed.
Either or. That's
I
quite
like
good.
that.
That's
I
quite
do
good.
like
I could go for that. I like that.
Okay, so Dom, you basically Dom's
Can I go for
going to be
something
taken out
easy?
by a sniper. So that's what we just.
Yeah. I mean, I'm hardly going to be taken
Yeah,
out on a date.
that's
so-
fine. Yeah. Yeah.
That's not going to solve the answer to
Oh.
this question, is it? So we're going to have to take you out with a sniper.
Question
Dom,
exactly.
so sorry about that. Apologise now. We'll finish
Yeah.
the podcast and
See you,
then
Dom.
you'll see like a little red dot, the red
And then
dot
we'll do
like
it.
that, going like
Yeah.
that.
You'll need me to.
Over
I
there.
assume you
Yeah.
want me to edit it, by the way, before I get taken out. Edit it, upload
Yeah,
it.
you please. Yeah,
Well,
and then I'll give the order. And then
Yeah,
I'll give the
please.
order.
Yeah.
Right, go on, Carey.
Oh, can I go for something easy to spell and that people can pronounce?
Go on then.
Because I love my name, but no one ever pronounces it right. And I've got so many different spellings, it's untrue. So can I go for Poppy?
You
Oh.
can. Is that with IE or just a Y?
No, with a Y. With a Y.
One
with a
P
Y.
or 2 P's, 3 P's? Okay. Well, how could you have it with just 1 P?
Well, 3 P's in total.
3 P's in total. Okay, so Poppy.
Oh my god.
Bless you.
Yeah.
Bless you again.
Bless
Oh,
you,
bless
Tom.
you again. I think that
Bless
calls
you,
for
love.
like a Pope's type blessing now. In nomine Patris, Filii et Spiritus Sancti.
Yes.
Oh, honestly, if I actually got a blessing every time I've sneezed, I would be the most holiest
You'd be the
man
Pope.
on this planet.
be ordained
even
as the
compared to the Pope. Yeah,
And then you'd have to shit in the woods.
embrace me as a god.
It's like, of course, going on there?
My ego's not that big, I
Is that
promise,
Dom
folks.
wearing white robes and having a crap in the woods? Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a pope. He's a pope now. We've ordained him. Right. So Poppy. So Dom taken out by a sniper once you finish doing all the editing and is ready to be published.
Yeah.
then I give the order. Carey, you're going to be Poppy, but we don't know if that's Poppy with 2 P's in total or 3 P's in total, I-E or Y. You haven't answered that.
Why would it have 2 P's?
I don't know.
I have. You should just weren't listening.
See the connection there? See the connection? Okay. Poppy. Right.
Is that going to be one of the ones where you ask ChatGPT how many R's are in strawberry?
Yeah. Or just ask Chat Stevie T, and then you get like a totally different
Chat
answer.
Stevie T, how many P's are there in Poppy?
P's are in Poppy.
7. What?
Yeah. How did you get to that?
7. Fuck off.
So it's interesting. So you both like your names. I fucking hate my name.
I know.
I hate
said
it.
Before, yeah.
I fucking hate it.
Yeah, I know.
It's shit. I can't stand my fucking name. Even now, like when people, it's fine if in normal
You
conversation.
do know you're old enough to legally change it.
I know. I was old enough to do you know, interestingly, when I was in my...
You've been old enough to do that most of the time
exactly.
I've known you.
So when I was sort of 18, 19, I was seriously considering it, and I couldn't think of a particular name. If there was a particular name that I had my heart set on, I would have changed it there and then, and I should have done it. It's too late now, really. It's going to be a pain.
It's never too late.
No, it'll be a pain.
Be a
It'll
pain
be
then.
a pain. So I just have to live with this shit. I can't stand my name.
And we have to live with you moaning about it.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Yes, you do. What would I change it to, though? That's
Yes,
the
we do.
question. I still don't know.
Thought you were going to change it to Ethan.
Yeah,
Last
Ethan
time
or
you did
Tyler.
this.
Yeah, Ethan's a cool name. Actually, Ethan is a cool name. I like Ethan.
So this could go back to the quiz, right? So if I said the actor's name is Mark Sinclair, who is that?
So
No, I
Ethan
don't think
Hawke?
either of you get this. Nope. Very famous for a particular set of car movies. Hey, the Fast and the Furious.
Vin Diesel.
Yeah, I haven't seen them.
Yeah, Mark Sinclair. Vin Diesel's real name is Mark Sinclair.
You should have said Triple X. That would have been fine.
Speaking of underrated films, that's an underrated film.
I like Triple X.
Got to be careful when searching that one. So,
Really?
Catherine Elizabeth Hudson.
Kate Hudson. No.
Nope.
What?
That's the name I know. That's the name I know.
Singer.
Adele.
No. But I don't actually know I don't know if Adele is her real name.
Singer. What?
Sang Firework.
Oh. Yeah.
That's Katy Perry.
So then you've got Eric Marlon Bishop.
Oh, I know this song.
Singer, songwriter,
Actor,
film,
yeah, it's
actor.
an actor. Damn it. What's he been in?
Oh, honestly, I don't know.
You don't know.
I reckon. Oh, it's so annoying.
He's in a Quentin Tarantino film. He's in Django.
What in it?
He's in Baby Driver. He's in The Amazing Spider-Man. The villain.
He's a villain.
Right. Yeah, he's a villain, yes. It's Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx, of course.
So Michael Douglas. Michael Douglas is actually an actor, but this person changed their name from Michael Douglas because it was already taken. He also was in Spider-Man. Michael Keaton.
Need more clues.
So celebrities changed their name. Yeah.
So Michael Keaton is actually Michael Douglas.
Yes.
Oh.
I don't know how to pronounce this,
That's
but
a
it's
scary thought.
Thomas Mapothere the Fourth.
Oh, for goodness
And
sake!
I've deliberately
That's
skipped
Tom
his
Cruise.
middle name. Yeah. I mean, Natalie Hirschlag.
Natalie Portman.
I've just picked up. Yes. I'm just. Yeah, and then you've got the most, I suppose, one of the most famous singers, Reginald Kenneth Dwight, is known as
Elton John.
So, yeah. So there's probably another couple of quizzes there.
Well, I
to
think
go
there
through
are.
the
Yeah, I
name
think
change.
yeah. We just did a
Yeah,
mini one.
yeah,
We just did a
definitely.
mini one there. I like it.
Yeah.
Right. On to the next.
What question are we on? Are we on number 4
We're on number
now?
4. Yeah,
On to
we're on
the
number
next
4.
one.
So
Yeah.
what?
of heaven knows how many.
This
You
is
did 10.
4 of 100. 4 of 10 of like relatively serious ones, and then 3 ridiculous ones. What title would you choose for your memoir?
Oh, we've had this one.
We have, haven't
mine's
we?
easy. Yeah.
Is it like What the Actual Fringe or something like that?
No, The White House.
The White House, of course.
The White House Memoirs.
White House.
Oh.
For those who don't know, my surname is White. So.
Do I have
Yes,
to have
you
a
do.
memoir?
Yes, you do. And it has to have a title.
God.
Stop your complaining.
Whenever
You
I'm
have to have a
testing things,
memoir.
I always use captain.
Stop moaning. Fuck
See,
me.
Dom's come up with his.
Jack Sparrow. Captain Jack Sparrow. You're about the worst pirate that I've ever heard of. But you have heard of me.
You have heard of me. Stop it. Oh, the only thing I can think of is who, with a question mark.
Who?
Okay.
I mean, I quite like it. That'd be quite a dramatic title on the top, wouldn't it? You could. And you, Jerry? You probably answered this. I can't remember your answer. But...
Yeah, come on, Jerry, yeah.
Based on things that just keep happening, it'd probably be something like FML with an exclamation mark.
Yeah. Definitely.
I think James Acaster names his books the best. So one of his oh God, what's it called? Oh, what's it called? I want to get the full title. Oh yeah, one of his I think it was a stand-up show. Sorry, one of his tours was called "Cold Lasagna, Hate Myself, 1999." And when he talks about the lasagna, it's one of the most funny. It's the funniest story that I've ever seen. So yeah.
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, you've got to look up. You've got to look up like this. He tells it on, I think it's Saturday Morning Kitchen,
Right.
or whatever that's called. Yeah, and he talks about.
Joe's
Amazon.
making notes.
Oh no, it was on the Jonathan Ross show.
I know.
Was it
Hang on,
Jonathan Ross?
let's just make this. Let's make this more fun.
Are you going to actually play it and then?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's going to play it.
This one. Here we go. And then if I unmute.
I did have a lot of stuff about 1999 and why it was the best year of my life. I did have stuff about how I ate and cold lasagna once, the best food I've ever tasted.
Yeah.
That's not in the show anymore.
Wow. So what? Is that because it's replaced with some other food that was even better?
Yeah. No, actually, no, it's still the best food I've ever had. I cold lasagna.
Cold lasagna?
Yeah, I didn't expect it. Here's what happened, right? I went to Sainsbury's. I got like a ready meal lasagna. Put it in the oven. No disrespect, Sainsbury's on this. It wasn't to my liking.
You didn't like when it was properly cooked.
It wasn't my thing. Put it in the fridge because I didn't want to put it in the bin. It felt bad. Then I got hammered on my own. Then later on,
hammered on your own.
Yeah. I was watching Queer Eye and getting drunk.
Okay.
And then, when I was really drunk, I went, I'm gonna have another go at that lasagna.
Yeah.
Time for round 2. I got a serving spoon. I was confident.
Yeah.
Put it in my mouth. Just the nicest meal I've ever had. Just the way the cold beef was as much. It's like almost plumper and more succulent. I like the way all the what's the sauce called in the lasagna?
Bechamel.
That congeals.
So quite a nice creamy thickness to it.
Oh, I liked it. It was like a little layer of like a Haribo sweet. Yeah. And all the crispiness was even crispier and like more.
So the crispiness where you'd cooked it, because you'd cooked it properly the first time.
Yeah, you got to cook
in the
it
microwave.
got to cook it properly first. Cook it in the oven.
Hold on. Do you think you actually enjoyed it, or do you just think you were so drunk you didn't know?
Well, to be fair, I did try it again sober. It was disgusting.
Brilliant.
Yeah. There you go. I think it's one of the funniest stories. That just and the way that he tells it is so good.
See, I'm tempted to try cold lasagna now. I want to try it.
There is a thing, isn't there, where like spaghetti bolognese or anything with kind of beef base, so anything that you've done in the slow cooker, let that go cold and then have that again the next day, reheated, tastes twice as good.
I can't believe you mentioned slow cooker again. It tastes the same as all of the other slow cooker recipes, but it tastes good. Okay, we'll go with that. I want to know, by the way, why would you call your memoir Who? So Dom's one I get, but why just Who? ?
And I don't think I
Okay.
will go.
Cool, nice. Let's go on to question number 5. Which?
I'll tell you later.
Fair enough. Question number 5. Which meme?
Honestly, right?
Best.
I have we just on the side. We have a lot of friends that are. Well, I've got a friend who's a clinical psychologist, and I know at least 2 people that are training to be into that practitioner, and I've got some friends. Sometimes I worry when they listen back to this and think, you need therapy.
Yeah, they're right.
And
but
again,
I don't care.
I sent the Taylor Tom. I think I've played the Taylor Tomlinson thing before, where she's like, therapy is supposed to be someone telling you that you're shit. It's not. Therapy is you talking to somebody and going, I'm shit, and then your therapist goes, I'm good, and now I'm going to match all of these traumas to some childhood events, and you go, aha, am I cured? And she goes, no, you need to talk through this, but bring your credit card. Bring your credit card.
You know where to swipe.
Very American.
Right.
Question 5.
Question number 5. Which meme best represents your life?
Oh, the Spider-Man one where they're pointing at each other.
Oh, yeah, I know the one. Nice. See, you got there quick. I know exactly which one mine would be.
Yeah. I have a mixture of like that one or the Leroy Jenkins meme.
Leroy Jenkins. Carey, whilst you're thinking about that, shall I reveal mine?
I can't answer it because I don't meme.
What do you mean?
I don't meme.
You don't meme.
I meme. I don't meme.
Mine.
I can't answer that
Seriously?
because I can't.
You must recognise some memes.
Seriously.
Some memes that you've seen must resonate.
But there you see, that's the point. Memes that I've seen. I don't.
Okay. Okay, I wasn't expecting that.
Okay.
I really was not expecting that. You've just taken the wind out of my sails.
No, I know you were.
Carey
I have.
Carey
yeah.
would be described in this current situation probably as grumpy cat with just a no.
Yes.
That's one. Yeah. No.
You sticking with that? Okay.
No.
Yeah. So that will.
Yeah, we'll take it.
That'll be it then. My one definitely would be that little girl that's in the car when the parents are announcing to the two little sisters that they're going to Disneyland.
Yeah.
And she just does that face of... Because her sister basically bursts out crying because she's so excited she doesn't know how to take that information in. So she's like, and she starts crying. And I think the little girl's name is Chloe. She just sits there and goes like... She's got this look on her face of this, what is going on?
That's the... oh, God. Yeah, I know who you mean. It's the...
It's famous.
Yeah.
It's
the
famous.
girl, she's just like... Got like a slight side eye,
Yeah,
hasn't she?
she's got slight side eyes, like look of like what the. So everything that happens in my life and things going on around me and stuff, that literally is my inner state permanently.
I am surprised. Have you seen, Jerry, the Pepe the King prawn set of memes from this year?
No.
Or last year, sorry.
No.
Yeah.
I love Pepe the
I'm
King
trying to
prawn.
think... like how it comes about, but basically it's a picture of Pepe like like this, and it's usually when it's played, it's set to the choir version of Madonna's "Like a Prayer," and people sort of explaining stories that are just getting progressively worse and worse and worse, with just this picture of Pepe the King prawn in the background.
He is my favourite Muppet.
Yeah, it's just like, and it just like gets.
Not animal.
No, Muppet.
Animal would be for a crazy one, I would imagine.
Animal
Animal's
is pretty
my favourite
cool.
Muppet. Or Sweetum.
What's the one in the garbage can? Oscar.
Oscar. No, see for
Muppet
me,
or Sesame Street?
Swedish Chef is good. Right?
Swedish Chef is
I always
amazing.
get compared to Beaker.
Beaker.
Yeah, I can see that. I like Beaker.
Beaker's so cool. Love Beaker.
Yeah.
Okay,
I do like the Swedish Chef though. I like the
Chef.
Swedish Chef popcorn
Popcorn, is that his name?
on YouTube.
Oh, to
No,
the
to
song
the song
Popcorn.
Popcorn
Oh,
on
okay.
YouTube.
All right, I'll have to look that up. Okay, so
You will. Yeah, it's good.
you're grumpy cat. I'm. Is that the one you would choose? The three
fine.
Spider-Men
Fine.
pointing.
To begin
If you
with,
had to
like, 'cause
choose
it's
one.
like, what the fuck? What the
What
fuck?
the
What the
fuck?
fuck?
What the fuck? Yeah, yeah. Fair enough. Okay.
Less so if I've seen someone like me. It's like, what the?
Yeah.
Here
Yeah,
are
yeah.
the three
It's
things
just like
in my
what the
life
fuck
that
is.
are
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. Okay, I think your one and my one's very, very similar, Dom. Similar sentiment, different meme, but similar sentiment. Right. Okay. Question number 6. How late is too late to cancel a plan with someone?
Depends on the excuse.
Yeah. But normally when they've set out, when they have set out to get to wherever they're going, then we're starting to look at a little bit
Yes.
late.
Like if you're meeting to someone somewhere and they've already left, it's probably too late unless something serious happens. Like,
Yeah.
I'm on my way and like flat tire or something worse.
Yeah.
Okay, it just got dark. Okay.
Well, I mean, I don't
Well,
know.
no, I don't-
Why?
no,
Why? What?
If it's I can't be bobothered to go,
What?
then it needs to be at least
Something
it needs to be
happens.
at least before somebody makes the commit.
Before
they've
they've
made a
set out.
commitment.
Yeah, so putting aside anything dark or sinister happening or whatever, you just decide, I can't do this. I can't do it. I feel really bad, but I can't do this.
Then it depends on the person. It depends on the person.
Yeah.
This is just way too many. You're like a
On who you're
business
meeting.
analyst. There are too many variables. Too many variables.
Too many variables.
I would say when you don't show up, at that point when you then call them, that's a bit late.
Yeah, but we've been there. Yeah.
Cancel the plan.
That's a bit late.
Well, I
yeah.
mean, you would have met up before the time of instant messenger.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, we met up before phones, except sometimes we didn't meet up.
Because somebody cancelled without telling people.
Somebody didn't even just show up.
Forgot.
Naming no names.
Forgot.
Pointing no fingers.
Right, moving on. I'm
know
definitely
you
On a
moving
similar
on.
ilk, though, what is fashionably late?
It's a very good point.
Fashionably late. For a party?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, for a party.
I mean,
in
'cause
general?
if somebody said to me, you need to be there at 6 o'clock, I'm like, cool. My brain goes, you need to be there at 6 o'clock.
I think.
Yeah, well, so does mine, but then if it's a party, you want to be there when it's got going.
So I would say anywhere between 6 to 6:30 is fashionably late.
For a 6 o'clock
Was
start on a
acceptable.
party.
Yeah,
Up-
so I think you can
up
to
to
6:30
6:30 is acceptable.
Yeah, I think after 6:30 you're like, okay, well, thanks for gracing us with your presence, kind of territory.
Do you not have a watch?
Yeah,
Yeah.
So half an hour
Cheers.
after the
half
start
an hour
time.
after the start. Yeah,
But if you're going to the theatre or
No,
something, then
no,
that's
you
just
don't be
rude.
fashionably late. But for events that need to be,
if it's
You
a
can't be
hospital,
for
fashionably
events
late.
that. Well, no, the doctor normally turns out fashionably
If you're
late.
about
that's
3
true.
hours
Yeah,
late,
that's
it won't
true.
matter.
Do they call it? Does the doctor call it fashionably late?
no, that's just how the NHS works.
No.
We love it.
Exactly.
But thank you, government, for screwing it over.
Yeah.
Yeah,
screw
no,
it.
this is for events that you should be fashionably late for. What is fashionably late?
Yeah,
What events should you be
Well, I assume,
fashionably
like,
late
parties
for?
and
Yeah,
stuff like that is
parties.
the type of thing that it would be.
anything where you've got quite a few people going. Doesn't have to necessarily just be a party.
Meals.
No, see, meals I don't think are things you can be fashionably late for. If somebody says we need to be at the restaurant for 7 o'clock,
exactly.
you rock up
You
at
need
7
to be
o'clock.
there, yeah. So go on
do.
then, party. Let's just stick to party.
But then that would come under your definition.
Okay,
Parties,
So
yeah,
we're saying,
parties
so
are the
you and
only
I
thing
are
you're
in
fashionably
agreement
late
then. So up to half an hour. Dom?
Up to
I
half an
don't
hour.
do fashionably late. It's not a concept that really comes into my mind. It's just a
So is that another
That's
reason
why I
why
asked
the
the
sniper's
question.
going to have to take you out?
yeah.
Because
Take
you
me
can't
out.
give an answer to this one. Okay.
Well, no. My answer was if it's 6 o'clock, I turn up at 6 o'clock.
But if you were hosting
Yes.
the party and you told people it was
Yes.
6 o'clock, how late is fashionably late for people to turn up if you're hosting
Ooh,
the
that's a good
party?
question. Did the old flipperoo?
Or do you want them there at 6
No,
on the
because now
dot?
we're going to get into the how I treat myself versus how I treat other people, which I don't think is a fair right?
Yeah.
For me, like, I mean, if it genuinely let's say hypothetically, or potentially not hypothetically, potentially a thing, hopefully in the next year, right? I'm hosting like, I don't know, housewarming party or something like that. There's no such thing as, well, I'd want people out by 10 so I could go to bed. So
So if you turn up after 10,
if
it's
you
a
rocked up
problem,
at
yeah.
like 10:30, I might be like, no, dude, we like finished. But like any like I'm one of those people that's like, yeah, whenever, right? We start at 6. I would give a length of time for the party. Okay, this is now we're going into how my brain works. Right? I wouldn't be like, I'm having a party.
No, because I
Right?
get
I'd
you.
be like, I'm hosting something from 6 till let's say 10, just for the sake of it. So even if they rocked up at like 9 o'clock, that wouldn't bother me because I'm like, clearly that's the time that you could spare for me, and I feel honoured that you could spare the time for me more than anything. That's the way that I work. And if
Okay.
there were some people that were staying over,
No, I mean, I get
then
that.
I'd expect people that weren't staying over to start vacating from 10 o'clock. But yeah, I don't have like a fashionable. I'm sure I'm going to get so much grief. on this podcast.
You are, you really are.
I'm real. I blame you.
But no, I get that, Dom. Because I mean, if people are coming around, it's like whenever.
Yeah.
I just don't have a set time by which they have to leave. You know,
And
if people are there and I want to go to bed, they can stay. I don't care.
and then if somebody said to me, "Oh, but what happens if you're not ready for 6 o'clock?" Then I go, "Well, then I'm a shit host, then aren't I?" Right, if I said I'm starting at 6
Yeah,
o'clock,
that's my problem,
I'm
yeah.
prepped and ready by 5:30, so people can arrive at 6 o'clock. None of this fashionably late where, oh no, the host won't be ready at 6 o'clock. Then they're a shit host. Aren't they? Right, you be ready for a time that you set. Anyway, I'm going to get off my soapbox. Bye.
Thank you. Good
See you
night.
later. Bye.
Right. So, question number 7. What's your favourite song to sing in the shower?
What's your playlist, Carey?
At the moment,
No,
At the moment?
all time.
because I was singing in the
Okay.
shower this morning, my all-time
Yeah, it
favourite
has to
song
be
to sing in
all-time.
the
Well, I want
shower,
both now.
or
Okay, do both.
God. Well, this morning I was singing Dochi and Denial Azurura. I quite like my Staying Alive by Entrance. I quite like that. Or what else have I been singing in the shower? It'd be Knock on Wood.
Okay.
And you're both like,
Well, I
what
mean,
the
I
fuck
think
are
you
you
know
doing?
them.
No, I
They're
know.
probably
No idea
not
what
my
these
type of
songs are.
songs.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I know Knock on Wood. Of course I know Knock on Wood. It's a Motown classic.
You've got that look on your face
No,
that's
but
like,
it's-
what?
No, because I've got that look of like, that's an interesting song to pick. For the shower. I don't know.
Why?
Doesn't seem shower worthy.
Oh, I'm sorry, my playlist is not up
No,
to
no,
scratch.
I'm not judging. I'm just saying it's no,
Yeah.
Dom?
Jerry, I want you to answer this first before I
Okay.
answer.
Well,
Because
I
my
need to
answer
answer
will
it first.
completely
Yeah.
derail the conversation.
Okay, so well, I don't have like a recent.
It's not Enjoy the Silence.
So, Queen, I Want to Break Free. That's a pretty good one.
I want to break free.
No, that's a
That's a
good
good
shower
song.
song. It's a good shower
Or
song.
Sitting on the Dock of the Bay, Otis Redding.
Oh, I do like that.
There you go.
Okay.
I need to discuss if I'm just a
Do you take the stereo in with you?
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
him. Yeah, I've got a picture now of Jerry with the boom box like next to his on his shoulder. Under the shower.
I'm not in the shower, but in the bathroom.
What? Well, I might as well just sit in the bath
Not in
and
the
throw
shower,
a
in the
toaster
bathroom.
that's plugged in with me. In there.
Every day I'm getting
Not in-
closer to
not in the
loving
shower,
a
you know what I
half-a-day toaster.
I do.
You know what I mean? Do you take something
No.
into the shower? Yeah.
No, I don't.
You don't?
That's
Oh,
why I'm
God.
saying, what's the song that you would sing in the shower without having
Oh, but I take
a speaker?
I take the speaker
no, we're
into
not,
the bathroom.
We're not doing. No, we're not going down that route. You have to.
I don't sing. This is the thing. This is the reason why it's a difficult question. I don't sing. Period. Really. And I don't. So I don't.
Hum?
So
No,
I don't
that's not
sing. No. God.
You whistle in the shower
Whistle. while-
like a kettle.
Yeah, it's just as the boiling water gets to me, like it gets
You
more
don't have
high
to
pitched.
whistle
It
out
sounds
that
like
Exactly.
orifice, do you?
High pitched whistling. It would
My-
do.
thought process around this, right? The shower and driving are the two best thinking times, so my brain doesn't go to singing when I'm in the shower.
And we've had this discussion before about how music and singing helps
yeah,
me
yeah.
focus.
Okay.
But
And so if I'm driving and I don't have music on, I'm a worse driver.
I mean, if I have music on, then I normally break a few speed limits based off frequency.
Well, yeah, that too. But that's yeah.
Okay.
No,
That's
I haven't got. I don't sing if I haven't got music on. So if you're going to ban having speakers in the
yeah,
bathroom,
you can't
I'm
have a
not gonna
speaker in the
sing.
bathroom. Yeah.
And if I then the other bit is I don't bring speakers in with me to the bathroom because water and electric does mix, which is the problem.
So if I don't have a no, you take the speaker in the bathroom. If I don't have a speaker, then I'm probably going to be singing a bit of Ella, and I'd probably be singing Summertime.
Yeah. Okay. That
By Ella
is
Fitzgerald.
no,
Yeah.
that's a good one. Okay. All right.
Interesting.
So there you go, Dom. That's number 3.
But I've always got the speaker.
Yes, but you're not allowed it. You're not allowed it.
Yes.
Right.
He's such a slave driver,
No.
isn't he, Carey?
Honestly,
it's-
honestly.
It's surgically attached.
Right. Well, I'll pay for.
Don't go anywhere without my speaker, you know
privately
that.
removed then. Right.
No,
Yes.
buy Lego
No.
instead.
Yeah,
Don't
get
want
Lego
it removed.
instead. Definitely.
I want Lego.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Right. Question number 8. What do you think are the unwritten laws of the workplace?
This is just a podcast. Why are
What
you
are
asking
you
the
getting
questions
at
just to
here?
expose
This is a
expose
disaster.
me as a person? I don't get them, which is why it really irritates me. I get really
Oh,
irritated
okay.
about the unwritten rules.
Okay.
You can't do that. Why? Because somebody 10 years ago said so. Then you go on to the psychological experiment with the monkeys, and every time a monkey went up the ladder, they squirted with a fire hose. And then they eventually swap all 5 monkeys out, and then the 5 monkeys that are in there have never been squirted with a fire hose, but they know not to go up the ladder. Break the norms. Go up the ladder. Question things.
Ask the questions.
Which is probably why I get into trouble so much at work, because I asked her, why the fuck are we doing it like that? And somebody goes, why are we doing it?
Well,
Why
you're
are
not
we
the
doing
only
it?
one.
Unwritten rules suck.
I'm not sure where you're going with this because I'm not sure there are that many unwritten rules in the workplace. So where are we going?
I think there are. So
I mean, obviously, I work in a school, so there are quite a lot of
Well,
rules.
there is an unwritten rule which I break all the time, an unwritten law, which is that it's like an unwritten law that in no contract does it say, oh, you're not allowed to express your emotions or show your emotions or express your feelings about
But there's
something.
not one
No,
to
why
say
would
that you
it?
can't.
Exactly. So, right. So
Yeah.
that's an unwritten thing, which is like everyone at work. So it doesn't matter if everything's on fire. Everyone just goes, oh well, must put a positive spin on that, and mustn't get
That
angry about
discussion at the beginning,
anything,
didn't we? Well, I mean, strictly speaking, it doesn't. It's not written down that you can't have a shit on your boss's desk. So, I mean, is that an unwritten law? Or is are we
that
back into
sounds like the
human
kind of answer that I would give.
yeah. Sorry, Terry.
Well, hang
Exactly,
about,
yeah,
hang on,
what's
we've just
going
done
on
the
here?
old role reversal.
The old. Sw-
I
I'm
know
not
about-
talking
I
about
watched F1 this
taking a
morning, so we see
walnut
that.
whip on your boss's desk. I'm talking about something a bit more nuanced.
It's
Especially
really
if they work
interesting
from
because
home. You don't want to shit in their desk when they're at home. Sorry.
What's interesting, like the point that you raised, and I am actually. I think this is supposed to be one of your jokey questions,
No,
but
it
it's going to
isn't.
go serious. I think.
No, it
Oh,
isn't. This
right.
isn't.
No, it's not.
And the
No, it's
reason
not.
why, right? So, I will hold my hand up and say that I'm a heart on the sleeve person. Like, generally, people know how I'm feeling, and we've had discussions about this, Jerry. But actually, some of the feedback that I've in the position that I am in the company, is like I'm essentially being told to mask it, which is very difficult when stereotypical, or not stereotypically, but when for the last like 33 years you have been a person, and then you're suddenly being asked, actually, you need to be different. But there is a bit of power in that, and I've recently, in fact, to the point that I recently, like, could feel myself getting like, I'm getting really frustrated, I want to express it, and then I went, no, I'm not going to express it, and took the step back and didn't express it, and the other person noticed it. It was like, it's almost like you're not being open and honest with me, and I was like, well, actually, I don't, because you, as I said before, like, it depends on how much somebody's me off. And so that rule, I mean, specifically that rule about not showing emotions, I'd like to go a little bit scarier than that these days and go, actually, it's about showing the right emotion at the right point to get what you want. So it's not necessarily an unwritten rule. It's more about how much into the psychology of manipulation do you want to go into versus and how much of your authentic self do you want to be versus how much do you want to say something that's particularly career limiting, right? What are your goals and stuff like that? Because if your goals is X, Y, Z, then actually it's not about being unwritten rules, it's just about playing the game. And I think that's where I get frustrated about unwritten rules, is because there are no rules written on how to necessarily project your career in the right direction. My career has gone in the right direction by me being open and honest, and I've smashed into a glass ceiling where me being open and honest and emotional all the time doesn't work. So I've got to change my style if I want to progress more. So that's the frustrating, is not understanding the social constructs that actually progress your career if you're going to go into unwritten rules. And that was quite a profound point.
Okay.
I didn't expect it to go there.
It was. I've never been bothered with any of that. I can't be asked. Take it as you find it. To be honest, I don't mask stuff. But then I do work in HR, so I'm privy to a lot of information that I have to keep confidential. So I do get asked things that I can't answer. And I'm quite used to telling people that I just can't do that. But in terms of myself, I am myself at work. It doesn't really bother me, and I've never been into career progression or ambition or any of that stuff. I really just don't care. I just want to enjoy what I do. It's
interesting. I think your first statement is quite interesting. I can't be bothered. So a lot of people sort of say that your career should be, they go, oh, what do you want to do for a career? Like, what do you want? Right? And I want to live in a £1 million mansion with a swimming pool and only work 3 hours a day, etc., right? That would be brilliant. But actually what you have to ask yourself is what you're willing to sacrifice. So, and that can be about everything, right? Are you willing to work 70-hour days to become a C-suite person, right? And if you're not, then don't work 70-hour days. Work your standard 9 to 5, and you will be career limited, right? Because that's just a natural thing. For me, in my current role, do I want to progress and be good at my role and progress higher? Yes. Then yes, I've got to learn the psychological art of, I call it professional manipulation, right? I'm not deliberately doing it to be like evil and twisted, but that absolutely is the right time to be like, you're a fucking moron, and there is a right time to go, we need to work through this and talk about this in a different way, even though internally I'm like, you're a fucking moron, right? It's the same input, it's just a different output. And those, I think, for the frustration I'm finding now, is those are unwritten rules, and so I've got to figure it out from a social construct, and that's hard, right? People are difficult because every person reacts differently, right? And some of the reactions I've had over the last few weeks where I've changed things, and Jerry's been privy to some of those conversations, have been some surprising results, and I'm like, oh, that didn't work. And then but I am finishing. I'm trying to be going back to the positive thing right at the beginning of the podcast. I'm trying to keep remembering a quote that I actually heard on Ted Lasso, which is a great TV show, by the way, if you haven't seen it. And it's be curious, not judgmental. And so when it comes to these like experiments, I'm like, oh, that experiment didn't work. I'll try something else with this person.
Okay.
That wasn't what you were expecting, was it?
No, but it's distinct. I like it. Okay. Moving on to the next question. What's your most treasured possession?
Oh, you haven't answered the other one.
Oh, I haven't
Jerry.
answered, have I? Oh, no. I think I kind of have. It's one of the unwritten laws of the workplace where it just seems to be, throughout my whole career, everywhere that I've been, it's just always frowned upon if you express any kind of frustration with anything, or, surprise at anything. Yeah, I hate this. When you go to a workplace, it has to be like a totally, everyone's expectation is it's supposed to be like a totally emotionless state, especially if you're in a leadership position and you think, there
are absolutely times where I'm like, I've got to be an emotional robot.
Which is crazy because when I was in a leadership position, I would encourage my team just to speak to me candidly. So I would want to see the emotion, because then I'd understand the severity of their objection to something or how much it was impacting them. Otherwise, how can you tell? And in fact, if you want them to suppress that, what's the point of being a leader? You might as well just be a manager then and go.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Yeah.
Any of that with me.
just do it.
Get on with your job.
The trait that you express really well is active listening. There. And to be honest, what I'm doing is trying to still be as active listening. But there will have been, maybe not, but there will be members that if you're in a leadership position that would have not reacted well to being emotional. They really want to talk about it without emotion. This is what I want. This is the objective I want to get out. Done. And I suppose the bit for me, right, is that you always assume that it is sometimes a one-way transaction as in a leadership position, but actually it's a two-way transaction. Because sometimes I wouldn't want my line reports to be too emotional, because it's like, okay, what do you need? If you just need a rant, then yes, be emotional. But if you actually want me to solve something, I need some facts and figures to take it the next step further. And there's absolutely been conversations where somebody's ranted about something, said, can you do something about it? I go, no, because there are no facts and figures. And, if you're in an HR position, if you've got no data, you're like, well, I can't do anything. It's just your feeling. But similarly, also, if I'm managing upwards, right, to my manager or sideways, again, I've got to come with the data. It's all unwritten as well. So to answer your original questions, yes, I hate unwritten rules, but it's all about power, manipulation, and influence, and loads of psychological bits and pieces, and it sucks. And I'm not very good at it because I don't believe I'm very good at reading people. I'm very good at intrigue and stuff like that. I can be quite black and white. I can be quite, and I'm a big overthinker. So you suddenly second guess everything. So fun times. Anyway, go on to your more fun questions.
Okay, so I'm going to do that actually, because I've just suddenly realised we haven't got that much time left. I've got to take the giant dish and the turd sandwich to the paddock. So
I've just noticed the time as well.
Here we go.
Yeah.
So 3 ridiculous questions. Why is the number 11 not pronounced 1T1?
Because etymology.
Yep, that'll be it. But have you ever thought about that? Have a think about it. 22, 33, 44, 55.
No, but it sounds
Why
stupid.
does 22 sound okay, but 1T1 doesn't?
I'm
Why?
sure that's probably a reason.
Because we're used to it being
22, 11. But at that point when somebody got to 10 and then went to 11, they went, 1T1, because 1T1, then 22, then 33.
But we're not the only language
saying we
that does
are.
that.
But
I mean, have you done French?
I know,
which
but
is like 320s
exactly,
and 10.
because it's done French.
90.
Yeah.
Oh God, the French.
92.
Have to do maths to work out how to count.
Right? But why not 1T1?
Nothing wrong with maths.
Why not 1T1?
I mean, do you want the actual answer?
Go on.
Because it
Because-
sounds weird.
It has actually got an old English reference, which it means one left over. And basically the base amount of 10 plus one more, similar for 12, which is from the word meaning two left over. The T numbers are also referring to 10, and the TY ending of larger numbers come from a word meaning group of 10. So 20 comes from multiple tens, meaning a group of 10. So, and then the short answer, because that's how the Anglo-Saxons said it, and we just copied it.
There you go. So there. And
Yeah.
we've just done it.
And we've
Fair
just
enough.
done it.
Okay,
Yeah.
right. Next question. Well, it's not really a question, but why is there an expiration date on sour cream if it's already sour? Have a think about that one. Don't necessarily even have to comment on it. Just let that one marinate a
You've
bit.
been,
Because it's
you've been wandering around the
because
supermarket
sour
again.
is the sour in this one is denoting the flavour, not the state. And sour, when it's gone off, is a state, not a flavour. It just happens to produce a very terrible flavour while it does it and poisons you.
Yeah, but that's just a
Yeah.
minor side effect.
This, if you eat this, it will cause you to shit your pants.
And there's
But no, it does. It does taste
You've had
different.
sour cream versus sour
losing
cream.
the plot,
So you've
by the
had cream that's turned sour.
Unfortunately.
That's
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay. Because I've had sour milk, which is not great. But I've never had cream that's sour. Oh my good lord.
Dodgy.
No.
Okay, let's move on because I'm gonna Ralph.
Let's move on.
My last
Yeah.
question: if a
Yeah.
policeman arrests a mime, do they still have to tell them that they have the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Well, of course,
But
officially
if
they
they're not going to
do.
say anything anyway, because whatever they do, they're going to communicate in mime.
You have the right to remain still.
You have the right to a beverage of your choice in the precinct coffee shop.
You're entitled to interpreter.
Okay, there you go. Those are some of life's deep questions now.
Okay.
Deep things
Oh
that we
my
just pondered.
god.
That's it, I'm done.
Oh,
I've got nothing, there's nothing left.
I mean, I'm done. Stick a fork in me. I'm done.
yeah. Stick a fork in me.
nothing
I'm
left.
done.
Oh dear. Well, we'll have to do the. You'll have to come back on, Carey, for us to do the movie review. I did actually watch it as well. Yes.
Have you
I
watched
did.
it yet?
Yeah, I did.
You've watched it? Wow. That's amazing. It was on last night.
What, on your DVD
On the
player?
sound.
No one's aired that. No one's
No, on
aired
the
that since
TV.
2007.
It's on Christmas. It was on Christmas
The movie
as
we're
well.
talking about is Stardust.
But it
by
was
the way,
on last
folks,
night.
For those that haven't listened to the previous podcast.
It's got nothing to do with
So,
Alvin Stardust.
The 2007 movie, based on a Neil Gaiman book.
Yeah. It's good. Jerry, you've not watched it yet, have you?
I'm going to read some of my things very quickly. Some of my notes. Right. This is, I quote, fucking young Charlie Cox and Henry Cavill.
Yeah,
And
they
then-
are young.
And
Yeah.
then there was a bit where the guard, don't remember his name, where he's like late in the film where he's like, oh, can I get through the wall yet? Be my guest, I quit. But also,
Yeah. It's a good bit.
What's his Mark? Oh frick, what's his name? Find it. Septimius. Who's plays Septimius? Oh, Mark Strong.
Septimus.
That's it. Mark Strong. He's from Kingsman. He's bald and is in a wig. I can't get over it. I can't get over it. I'm so used to seeing him.
You
Like,
struggle
in
with
the
that.
Kingsman in a suit and tie, and now he's in like some like Victorian era with a real kind of like
With a
kind
wig.
of, like cut wig.
Syrup.
Just I can't get over it. Anyway,
Yeah.
we're running out of time. I know Jerry's got to go, and we've got
I'm
a
so
long
sorry.
podcast.
We haven't done badly though. 1 hour 54.
Oh.
1 hour 54. You mean like 2 hours 23?
Why is it only showing 1 hour? Whoa! Yeah, okay.
Yeah, 'cause we
We
talked
did chat
beforehand.
beforehand. Yes.
Yes. Yes. Cool. Okay. Carey, thank you very much for coming on. It's lovely to have you on. Really appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
Thank you for having me.
Jerry, your questions, what? And to anybody that's concerned about me, I am okay.
What?
I'm sure there may be a few people that are a little bit worried. I promise that I'm okay.
And you're not going to get taken out by a sniper.
Okay.
Well, I hope not.
Well,
Not till the
let me know once
podcast
the
is done.
editing's done.
Yes.
Okay. So Dom, I'm going to
There'll
ask
be
a
another
question.
podcast already.
Final thoughts.
What's that? I was just about to ask that.
I
Damn
know.
you!
Well, I thought you just lost the game. I thought I'd get that in there. Final thoughts. I'll get in
crumbs
there.
alive.
I'll get that in
Get
there
that
as well.
into.
I'm on top form today.
You are.
Oh dear. My final thoughts are: I promise I am okay. Jerry, your final thoughts.
Hang about. You just did a. Okay. My final thoughts. Hang about. Carey.
Hang on.
No, let's go to Carey, and then I'll and then I'll do my final thought.
Ooh. I guess it's something that's always on my mind. It's been on my mind a lot. It's been on my mind mainly because it's something that I haven't done in the past and that I should have done and that I regret not doing. Because life is short and time goes by quickly, and we're all extremely good at throwing excuses in the way of doing things. Stop the excuses, get out and do it. You'll enjoy it. Why worry about it?
Nice.
Wow. And as I'm currently the king of procrastination at the moment, I
Sorry.
totally get it. Jerry, you can't escape it now.
Okay, well,
Follow that.
my final thoughts. If there was a pill...
You wanted to go second.
If there was a pill for procrastination... No, if there was a pill that cured procrastination, I'll take it tomorrow.
You don't need it. Yeah, thank you.
Sorry.
Get in
It's so
the bin.
bad. That's the second dad joke of the day.
Yeah,
That is bad.
that's really bad.
Sorry, I'm going to hand back to you now, Dom.
I was going to say, what is the quote? You walk like a sim.
Walk like a sim.
Yeah, you walk like a
And the
sim.
other one along that ilk is, you look like a rescued human.
Rescue you.
And on that note, thank you very much, everybody, for watching and listening. Please like, rate, subscribe, etc. Share with your friends. We are about to hit the final podcast episode of year number 4 next. And then we've got some bigger things for episode 50 and for our year 5. So we will not share too many plans. I just hope that Jerry is prepared. He's going to look panicked because I've told him nothing.
What?
Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening. And we'll catch you all on the next podcast. Bye.
Bye.